Good evening, everybody. We are back. I was debating on which game to play, so it's a weird time in the schedule in terms of starting or playing certain things. And the big one I would say for this week would be it's Canada Day on Wednesday, which historically I've taken Canadian holidays for myself, which realistically means that I would be streaming Monday and Friday this week. Now, I always, give myself the option of doing something different, right? Of streaming on my days off, but I could really use some time for myself and my interests that aren't streaming or gaming, and so I'm more likely to take those days, particularly when I haven't taken any other days off. So, for the one-off days, Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop's a good choice. I have been feeling quite groggy today, and I know Uncle Chop's isn't great for that, although I would argue maybe a strategy game isn't a better alternative. But that feeling has been combined with a pretty strong feeling that I'd like to play ZEPHON again, which I quite liked on, when I got it on a sale. I don't think it was the Skulls sale, but I feel like there was a sale reasonably close to it where ZEPHON was got a discount. Let me just take a minute here and write it down. So it's currently 50% off on Steam. Let me just take a minute to get the link. So 50% off for the base game at $24.99. If you would like, you can get the expanded edition, which has ZEPHON, ZEPHON the Syncretic and the Imperious, the Platinum and the Infinite, and the Twisted and the Hollow DLC. That's 31% off, or $63 and a penny. Again, this is Canadian, not your local currency. And then if you want the complete bundle, so that would be the base game as well as all of the DLC, that one's 33% off, and it's $86.20. So, and if you're curious about what the differences here are, basically all of the DLC available for the game would be a digital art book and wallpapers, which I don't really know how people feel about these. I don't think it's bad to like it. It's got a very unique art style. And the reason why I feel a little funny about mentioning it is just like, I don't really like when people see something that a developer has decided to make available for sale and then sort of say what the price should be, right? Like, I don't go to the fish and chip shop and say, 12 bucks for cod and chips. No. That's more like an $8.99, right? Like, they're providing the good or service. I am deciding whether or not that price is worth it. We this is how we normally handle things. But I don't know. Games, for some reason, it's there. So I'll confess, like, I don't usually set my wallpaper for my computer, so probably not going to get much use out of the wallpapers, but I think the digital art book's an interesting choice. This game's got quite a good soundtrack, actually, and it keeps growing. It's a very, very large collection. So $7.19. There is a supporter upgrade. Now, I think this one's kind of a fun idea. So this is quite like this isn't the only game to do this, but basically you you are paying to say, hey, I like your game. And you do actually get a couple of things in exchange for that. So there's a supporter badge, which appears beside your name. I'll point that out when I play the game. And then there's just a little banner on the main menu. What I do find kind of funny, there's something interesting about the idea of of discounting a supporter upgrade. So normally you can say, good work, Proxy. I like what you're doing and spend, 24.99 Canadian doing so. But if you're like, you know what, Proxy, you did a really good job. I'm gonna spend money purely to make sure that we are, I want to show you the support, and I want to make sure that you know that I like your work. But, I only want to do 60% of it, right? ZEPHON 2, you really need to deliver to get the 100%. But I mean, look, I just find that like funny from a, like, aren't I supposed to be supporting the developer here? Not like, discounted support is support, right? And this is the sort of stuff that helps me, it means that there are more games that are interesting to play that are available to me. So whether you buy it at the full price or do not, there is a supporter upgrade. And if you are a broadcaster, you can show off that you make the mad streamer dollars, as everybody knows broadcasters do. And make sure that game developers who are a bunch of pores, can keep doing the thing that they're doing. So in terms of things that are like, okay, look, this is all well and good, feelings and all of that, but I am living in extreme poverty with my computer and internet connection and leisure time to watch a stream. I just need to focus on things that put entertainment directly into my eyeballs. So I'd actually honestly say the base game is quite good, and I think it will help you decide what you are interested in. So that one's $25.99. The game, like the upgrades to the game, the DLC, the things that will actually add more gameplay mechanics are Twisted and the Hollow. That's the first one. That's currently 25% off. The Platinum and the Infinite is 10% off. And then the Syncretic and the Imperious, which I think was what caused the game to be on discount for me when I bought it, that just came out, so that doesn't get a discount. But again, I suspect here that if you want to see, if you're just like, I only want things that make the game behave differently, and I do not want to tell the developers that they did a good job, and I hate music and images make my eyes bleed. What you would probably want there is the expanded edition. So if you just want to buy all the factions and stuff like that, that's 6301 Canadian off the bat. You probably didn't need me to explain all of that to you, but there you go. Okay, so I've played this a couple of times on my own. I quite like this game. I'm, like I said, a little funny about whether or not I'm going to be able to get this session. I'm almost certainly not going to do this session all the way through to the very end. Actually, you know what? We're going to... I have quite a bit of playtime in the game now, but a lot of it has been about this, like, spectator. So you get, there's an option, actually I can show you in the... right. So I basically just put like one of everything into a huge map and let it fight out. Now the drawback is, as far as I can tell, there isn't a way to just like let it let her rip. You need to like have a like a cooldown or something like that. So it's turn 200 with I don't think there's any end in sight, so I don't know if I'll actually see that through to the end, but that's why I'm not getting rid of that. All right. I'm trying to remember if there's anything in the... Right, this is the Discord. All right, I think we're okay for game to voice volume. So, when we first played this, I did the introduction, so start a guided game on easy difficulty as the Fallen Soldier. So I would say probably, whether or not I'm familiar with strategy games, I would say that, or, you know, having played Gladius or something like that, I'd argue easy isn't bad, but it's probably not what I should be playing if I want a challenge. And I actually learned, I think some of the old Civilization games, which are wonderful for giving you lots of different difficulty levels, but I sort of learned with Civilization that I have a bad habit. You know, it's fun to win, right? Especially for like games where maybe the appeal is building something. You may want to you may want to sort of like steamroll the enemy and just like build your thing. Like it's funny. I don't know a lot of people who think of it this way, but like I really like the Civilization games. And I can't remember if it was just the idea that games don't need to be about fighting or if there was another inspiration, but I believe Microprose was inspired by SimCity in terms of the material that, or at the very least the subjects that they could take on. And I guess the thing for me is that I still think there's something kind of neat about building a game where, you know, the focus is on like building this big and majestic thing, right? Like Civilization does have its war game elements. You do fight, you negotiate. And I've heard an argument, I'm not convinced by it, but people say, you know, there's no, you know, if you don't have the combat, then, you know, there's no reason to play. And I'm like, that's not true. Like, you know, maybe there's disasters in SimCity, but you can turn those off. You know, it's not like you have rival cities trying to take yours over. I think there's a lot of games which can be very enjoyable towards building a certain thing, and that you just, you know, you are confronted by other constraints, which aren't necessarily military ones. Although I would point out that, of course, one of the 4 X's is exterminate, so I think having no combat is maybe something that you want. It would be inconsistent with people's expectations, let's say. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like building stuff out, and so as a result, I do enjoy a challenge. But I will say that there are some cases where I can actually see more of an appeal being playing on a lower difficulty, basically without the intention of steamrolling everyone. But the danger of doing that, I'll confess that was something that I did, you know, when I was younger. And now, you know, if I don't enjoy the challenge, at the very least, I want to try and like learn the game well. And I did find that the problem with spending too much time on the easier difficulties is you build very bad expectations. And it means that when you do try to grow, when you do try to go to a higher difficulty, it means that you either have to unlearn or you have negative surprises when you start playing the game sort of on its own terms. So as a result, you know, want to go to new game, want to go to medium difficulty. So in this case, no advantage or disadvantage, recommended for turn-based strategy fans. And in this case here, hard, which says recommended for veterans of proxy studio games. Small city loyalty and level unit advantage, as well as a small increase in AI diplomatic aggressiveness. Now, on paper, this is maybe where I should be. I still make some really dumb mistakes, and I actually wish more games would follow the old world insight of saying that, what's the best way to put it? Like, it's okay to have an undo button. I understand designers get really mad about it, but games aren't made for designers. I'm sorry to say it, because I know designers watch the stream, but like, you know, it's an entertainment product. It's like, you know, when I was working in movies, I wouldn't go and tell people they're watching the thing. I mean, most of the stuff I worked on sucked anyway, but actually that's not true. I've run into people who, against all odds, actually have seen things I've worked on, and they have really warm memories of it. And I feel slightly embarrassed about it, because to me it's another job. But like I'm beginning to realize, like, obviously I did not have any kind of creative principal role or anything like that. I get to take, I can take credit for it existing. I didn't flash the mags. Like you know, the sound is in sync. Like the stuff that I did is like fine. There was a camera there to be able to watch to film the movie with, but like, you know, I'm not responsible for anything that a viewer would care about. And it can be a little funny, right? Because it's something that means something to somebody. And there's that expectation that, you know, I mean, a little bit like ZEPHON, right? Like I like playing ZEPHON, and I sort of like to imagine like that it's sort of like ancient Athens, and all the people at Proxy are, you know, are sitting around thinking about how to like really make a custom designed game to, you know, just tickle my brain in all the right places. And like, I'm sure they care a lot about the games that they make, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, some days are better than others, and like you'll read some feedback from players which is really annoying, or maybe you'll watch a stream and the guy's talking too much rather than playing the game. And you don't have those kinds of anecdotes. I mean, I guess Proxy seems to be, compared to, I'd say, similarly scoped games, does seem to actually be a relatively small team. So probably that means that you'll be closer to somebody who is responsible for a thing that you think is really interesting in the game. But I think the principle still holds. But yeah, anyways, neither here nor there. I do sort of feel like I've put some time into this game. However, all of it has been with the Fallen Soldier. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about some of this stuff going in and talk about the DLC and that. So I'm getting a feeling that maybe I should be playing on something like, you know, hard, recommended after beating hard, recommended after beating very hard, not recommended. What I am going to do, though, is I don't want to change, like, there's a lot of neat little dials to turn. Some of these are not going to be things that I care that much about. But, I mean, I'm happy it's there. What I usually want to do is just play on defaults. And so at some point I do want to get a little more ambitious with the difficulty that I'm playing on. However, every single time I've played this game, it has been as the Fallen Soldier. So, Human Affinity, Undying. The Fallen Soldier's followers carry a piece of his flesh around to share his uncanny healing power. Units regenerate hit points every turn. This is the big one. Military background, you know, start with an Outrider. That's fine. I mean, that's kind of helping with scouting. Higher... This is a negative, so higher upkeep. And I'll be honest with you, I actually don't know what this elite does. I still haven't figured out what survival training does. But that's fine. We'll leave that aside. But I think one of the things that makes Fallen Soldier, from at least my perspective, you know, having only played it... Actually, that's not entirely true. You saw on the save, Hollow Warlord was one I was trying. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the Hollow Warlord. I feel like that's one I'll maybe try a bit later. But I'll talk about it. But it's... I feel like I need to ease myself into some of these other ones. So what's interesting about Undying is that there is it removes a certain amount of risk from you, right? So like if you have units that are in a tight spot, as long as you can move them back, you know, you're given an opportunity to, like, not just, so you don't just pull them back, you can actually reposition them. You can move them towards the next objective, and they're still going to be healing. They won't heal as fast as if you do your normal healing. But also, like, you can put them in riskier scenarios, knowing that, you know, as long as they have that 1 point of health, they will be getting that back. And on the margin, if you're able to take out the adversary, then that's a decisive advantage. And so as a result, usually what I found with my Fallen Soldier games is that I will have these very large armies of militia because they're not dying as much. Now, in fairness, you've also seen me like reload a couple of times when I suffer a loss. I'm trying to like roll back on that. But I'll be honest with you, every single time I see the word save scum in chat, it tells me it's like, I'm going to play the game the way that I want, and I suddenly don't feel bad about this anymore. So I suppose this is a contrarian side of me. But the biggest thing here is that when I talk about learning bad habits, I don't think this is an ability shared by anyone else. And so one of the best things I think I can do for myself is to no longer assume that my units are going to have a rapid rate of healing on their own, and that I am going to need to think about what it costs me to achieve certain objectives, and whether or not I'm willing to put my army sort of on ice for a while to recover from a particular objective. So there's a couple of other problems, or not problems, but this is where the dilemma is, right? So I've eliminated one, but what else am I going to do, right? So there's the emulated mind, furtive tribunal, heartless artificer. So the hollow warlord was one. I'll actually explain why this one doesn't quite work for me, at least right now. So I think this is one of the ones that comes in the DLC. So the warlord's a simple man interested in conquest, not cursed magic or alien technology. Start with an engineer, militants, 2 scramblers, and gain earlier and cheaper access to human technologies, including exclusive access to the highest tier of human research. We who are about to die. So this is the one that I have trouble with. The adventures of the warlord and his soldiers are told and retold in the city streets as long as the blood keeps flowing. Every turn that your units kill or die, your city's loyalty increases, but otherwise decreases. Now, obviously you do not want to suicide all of your units into impossible odds, and I have actually found it is quite difficult to keep the bloodshed going to a point where I feel like there's sort of this insurmountable loyalty pit. And, you know, it does lead to sort of this risky behavior, which in one sense is kind of cool. But it's like the risky behavior I'm noticing is that like I'm throwing everything at an enemy to try and like overcome the loyalty defects. And like I'm gonna lose some units and I still haven't killed the thing. So yeah, it's just, this is one that I'm sure I will be able to overcome at some point, but this is a little more than I can handle. Tales of the Hunt, Tales of the Warlord's endless campaign spread far and wide. Attacking gives influence, so no problem with influence. Sharp-toothed townsfolk will not stand for idle warriors and will not feed them. Units in cities and outposts have increased upkeep, gain less from trading pacts. And again, I'm not 100% sure what the elite is, but when Warlord masses his forces for war, they attack with vigor, eager to prove themselves to him. Spend influence to grant troops in a large area bonuses to attack and movement. Actually, if memory serves, I can't remember if the furtive tribunal is one of the so I know Hollow Warlord is one. Imperious Exonaut is DLC. Twisted Mother is DLC. Syncretic Deva is DLC. And then I think it's the Platinum Scion and Infinite Count are DLC. Anyway, you know what? I think I'll just do this top to bottom. So the problem that I have here is there's a lot of interesting factions, and I just need to decide what set of skills sounds kind of interesting. So the Emulated Mind, it strikes me as a slightly difficult one, but not insurmountable. So this is Cyber Affinity. She has no choice. ZEPHON unintentionally made her a twisted mirror of itself. Start with Engineer, Exosia Marauder, Ishim Enforcers, and gain earlier and cheaper access to cyber technologies. including exclusive access to the highest tier of cyber research. The emulated mind is a master of logistics and supply management. Gain additional resources from outposts. Fortress Armament. Oblivion awaits anyone foolish enough to attack the emulated mind directly. Her city possesses a long-range defensive cannon. And Trapped. The emulated mind is locked inside a single structure, so her people have built a citadel around her. She is limited to her starting city and can build no more. So in one sense, right, this removes a potential, you do need to make a decision in terms of when you expand. But then the question would be, does resource network and your ability to build things, are you able to overcome that shortcoming of one single city? I'm not sure about that, actually. But it sounds like an interesting challenge. Now, the other challenge here would be, I haven't done a cyber affinity yet. Furtive Tribunal, voice affinity. The three become bound as one by singing together the melody of the voice. Start with 2 Abkluth Dragoons, an Abkluth, and an Engineer, and gain earlier and cheaper access to voice technologies, including exclusive access to the highest tier of voice research. Dark Omen, their connection with the voice allows them to see past what normal mortals see. Enemy units near the Furtive Tribunal cities are revealed even when out of regular sight range. Whispers of the voice's murmurings inspire impossible wisdom and capture whispers of the future. Spend influence to accelerate research. Oh, that actually sounds rather interesting, because I don't use my influence well yet. Mysticism. The three believe that spiritual apprehension precedes intellect. Research laboratories have decreased output. All right, there's the catch. The Heartless Artificer. This is sort of a character that I don't like as a person, but might be interesting just to cut loose a little bit. Also cyber affinity, start with Engineers, Ishuman Forces, Malakim Destroyers. Engineer Life, the Artificer has no fear of abhorrent science. If it helps the expansion of her people, population growth rate is increased. Foundation of Blood, low productivity, invokes the Artificer's ire, sacrifice population to increase production. So this feels a bit like Chaos in Gladius. Immoral, the bright burning vision of the future espoused by the Artificer is inhumanly demanding. To keep her population's ever decreasing loyalty up, it must be reset using influence. Again, this one actually seems interesting in the sense that at the moment I don't use influence well, so there's a couple here that would force me to use influence to just keep pace, although whether I recognize that I need to do that or not is another question. Okay, so let's say Emulated Mind and Heartless Artificer are on the short list. I've already said I don't want to be unkind to the Hollow Warlord, but it's one that I really need to... I feel like I need to know this game well, and I'll kind of take this one on as a challenge for myself. The Honorable Aristocrat, just for his image alone, I kind of want to see what's going on. But human affinity, art, music, and other luxuries of humanity are what made the Aristocrat fall in love with life. Engineer, 2 militants, and a missile team. Honor bound, the Honorable Aristocrat's talents ensure the best deals for all. Trade agreements and their alliances generate additional influence for both parties. That is tempting. Hired hands, hard work is not one of the Aristocrat's personal virtues, preferring to buy and help. Spend influence to rush production, again, tempting. Gluttony, to the Aristocrat and his people, a refined palate is a basic survival need. Population has increased food upkeep. That actually seems like a pretty modest... That feels like a pretty modest cost. I feel like dedicating, especially if you're able to turn influence into new buildings fast. I feel like gluttony is a small price to pay, so sure, that'll go on the short list. The Imperious Exonaut, engineers, militants, and scramblers. View from above from the space station, the Exonaut can see all, reveal all tiles for free. I'm curious if that means that you get like full vision of everything. If that's full vision, that's a really strong one. If it's you just get to reveal the map, then there's actually a mutator that does that. Sorry, I just gotta readjust my blanket. This is cozy ZEPHON. Tactics. Her martial background and unique viewpoint enable the Exonaut to excel militarily. Spend influence to buff units in a wide area. Quality tells the Exonaut troops are exceptionally well trained and equipped. Units start at level 2, but take longer to produce. That's one I think that's enough for that to be a deal breaker for me. Infinite count. Voice affinity stuck halfway into the voice. The count is closer to it, however, unwillingly. Start with 2 caitiffs, engineers, and gain earlier and cheaper access to voice technologies, including exclusive access to the highest tier of voice research. So starts with a very small force. Perfect forever. Certain amounts of death and horror seem to summon iterations of the count. Spend influence to mark a unit, which when killed spawns a caitiff. Okay. Time out of joint, the Count can take followers with him on his temporal wanderings, though their health is sapped. Spend influence to restore the action points and movement of a unit at the cost of their hit points. That actually sounds quite cool. Ageless Hunger, the Count's presence is a constant drain on the lives of his people. Population growth rate is decreased, but killing enemies temporarily boosts growth. Interesting. Sorry, just give me a second here. Probably a little more complicated than I want to deal with, but I think I'd like to try this at some point. Platinum Scion, Cyber Affinity, shiny and tech-heavy engineers, Tuition Enforcers, Sure Thing. Scion knows the art of the deal, pay minerals to get a larger amount back later. That's, oh man. Like, there's something really interesting about that, but like minerals are something that I'll always want to be using to build. Economies of scale. The unit cost is progressively reduced with each duplicate. This feels like a really interesting one. Just ship it. This line cares not for product testing and safety, only for a quick buck. Non-hero units are produced with a random debuff. Okay, that is a pretty heavy price all of a sudden. Practical Romantic feels like a natural extension of the Fallen Soldier, but that might just be because I keep running into him. All right, start with an engineer and 4 militants. Scavenger survived the apocalypse on the streets, salvaging everything he could to stay alive. Units generate resources by defeating enemies. Okay. There's Hope. His tongue was as silver as his beard. Spend influence to restore a unit's morale. Heartfelt loss. The Romantics people had more hope to lose when disaster struck. Morale losses are increased. So this one actually feels like not a bad, remembering that I said before that Fallen Soldier, I'm trying to overcome the Undying, the Undying buff. I feel like the Practical Romantic is a very straightforward way to move into that. So that one I'm leaning fairly heavily for, although it may, I don't know, like it may just mean that I sort of do the same thing over again. We're almost through the end, by the way, for those of you who don't like it when I read all this stuff. Rogue Operative gets Cassiel Shredders, an engineer and Initium Enforcer. Hit and run quick-witted operative refuses to be bound by conventional tactics. Units may move after taking an action. That feels quite strong. Augments. The Rogue Operative was born a skilled hacker, but her augments turned her into a savant. Spend influence to augment a single attribute of a non-large unit. Independent, a crew of free thinkers and radicals follow the operative into battle, but they are all looking out for number 1. Population has an increased loyalty upkeep. That's interesting. So like there's definitely some really interesting things here, and the loyalty definitely feels like something that could cripple me if I'm not careful. So I do want to try the Rogue Operative at some point. Syncretic Deva. Cassiel Shredders, Engineer, and Malakim Destroyers. David's knowledge of pre-collapse technologies is unparalleled. If his followers can winkle it out of him, start with free research points. Everyone is welcome in the Davis City, though he fears the tyranny of the majority. Each new type of building in a city increases loyalty. Each duplicate building decreases loyalty. So this is the Tau from Gladius. In idol worship, the Davis followers upgrade their bodies to be mechanized like his, ignoring his indifference to their efforts. Population also has energy upkeep, but production buildings can produce loyalty. Interesting. Twisted Mother. Though she isn't aware of it, few have traveled deeper into the voice than she has. Start with Amita's Devourer, devotees of Thrakos. When her burning smile is turned on you, you feel so very special. Spend influence to buff your units at a cost. Tender ministrations. Despite her afflictions, Mother insists that all her children care for one another. Increased healing rate if adjacent to an allied unit. Also tempting. Although her kindness is obvious, the Mother's appearance and unreliable personality puts off independence. Gain less from trading pacts. And finally, the Untold Prophet. The great speaker needed the voice of a child to spread its wisdom to the world. Start with the Dark Vassal and devotees of Thrakos. The prophet's followers spread his word across the land, benefit from a reduced loyalty penalty for each city. Okay, very tempting. Words of the prophet, all may be forgiven by the prophet's touch. Spend influence to convert an enemy unit. Good Lord. Cost of conviction. The cult must never be allowed to waver. Population also has an influence upkeep. This feels very strong. Okay, so one of the questions that I have in terms of adjusting things. So we've said we're not doing the Fallen Soldier. We're not doing the Hollow Warlord. There's, I guess, a couple of others that I said I wouldn't do. So one of the things I may want to consider would be the affinities. So one option would be I stick with the human affinity. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm applying sort of Fallen Soldier reasoning for a lot of my activity, and then I'm just removing the health. Alternatively, I can say, well, you know what, maybe I want to have a little more variety here, and I can say, well, we can do the emulated mind, and so we'll take the opportunity to not only sort of divest ourselves of the human or of the undying bonus, but we can also try the new units. And I'm genuinely split on the two. I think in one sense, it would actually be really fun to try another affinity. Now, I actually have the option of doing, I could do someone who, is human affinity, but I think you can go off of the path if you want. But I think the way I'll handle this, I think I'll stick with human. So we're not doing Fallen Soldier. And we're not doing the Hollow Warlord. So the Aristocrat is sort of tempting. The Exonaut was, I think the longer time to produce units turned me off of that. And then I believe the only other human that I have is the Practical Romantic. So I guess the question comes down to, generate resource by defeating enemies at the cost of higher morale losses, let's say. And then bonuses to trade agreements. I'm trying to leave influence to the side. Like Hired Hands does actually feel like something that's really strong. I think what I'll do, though, in the name of trying to keep somewhat close to what I'm familiar with the Fallen Soldier, just without the healing, I think we'll do the Practical Romantic here. So before the fall, I would have quailed at the burning of a book. Now in this freezing hell we have inherited, a Bible is just fuel, and man is just meat. Before the earth died, the Practical Romantic was a teacher. He took great joy in communicating poetry and wisdom to his pupils, raising the next generation to have warm hearts and open minds, to welcome all. In the dark of the apocalypse bunkers, alongside his school peers, his mind was changed. He saw children and adults fighting for scraps of cloth to stay warm, killing for meat. He did more than watch. Eventually, he and his ashamed tribe emerged into the ruined world, a sadder, wiser romantic. Though his idealism hasn't changed, the romantic is now more cautious and more practical. He will fight to preserve the riches of humanity, but recognize that those riches are only of use if humanity actually survives and is led by good people like himself, to rebuild a good world. In pursuit of that dream, the romantic will do anything to survive. Okay, so sorry about the time it took to get going. The mutators are interesting. I've definitely earned a few more. So there's, did my death mean anything? Doubled morale change from death. That feels like that would be devastating to the practical romantic. Must we suffer so? So you start with some extra research. What are you? Can only research technologies with your affinity or no affinity. And where are we? All tiles explored from the start. So I think we'll do something closer to the default game. So I don't know where the sound went. I do apologize. I thought that was just because I was waiting too long on the menu.
We were not ready for their divine judgment. We were tested, and almost everyone just failed. Their dark mysticism shattered an era of enlightenment and ushered in the dusk of the 21st century. Billions of lives were lost in a heartbeat, turned to ash, and cast away in the wind. Our soldiers were gone, but our weapons kept fighting, driven by an enigma in the networks. Their surviving forces waged a desperate crusade against the machines. We became bystanders to a relentless war. Now our world is an ever-twisting nightmare. Hellish threats lurk in every whisper and shadow. There is no glory, only survival. Deliver us from this trial. Reclaim our world for mankind.
Okay. So, as far as one of the things that I think is quite neat about this game is its approach to storytelling. So, where I think some of this gets most interesting is you have like you have some fragments about what happened, but the opening cinematic, it tells you a lot about things that went wrong without necessarily telling you like who's who or whatever. And reading the little fragments, which we will do here. I know, you've been very patient with me while I try and figure out what faction I want to play. But yeah, I definitely learned through playing all the way through and reading everything. This isn't the friendliest start. I think, we'll be fine. But yeah, it is kind of interesting to see the setting be established through these little fragments and then these segments at the end of the game. So as far as I can tell from that cinematic, my broad understanding of what happened is there's this cataclysm, there was an invasion, all of those sort of eldritch beings are associated with an alien race called the Akron. So the Akron seem to be aligned with an entity known as the Voice, and basically if you see a monster, think the Voice. And of course you can be the monster, or you can be aligned with the monsters and get related units. But basically the tentacle stuff is something aligned with the Voice. The Akron would be aligned, broadly aligned with the Voice, although I think there's some suggestion that they've been duped or otherwise are not on good terms. We'll encounter that a little bit later. It does give an idea that they're sort of on a crusade, or that there's an ongoing conflict after the invasion, and this is against the automated defenses of Earth, ZEPHON. ZEPHON is not necessarily an ally anymore. In fact, you start off fighting, and I think the idea, I suppose there's an argument that you can make, is that ZEPHON's one of the good guys, if not, or at the very least is somewhat blameless given the fact that they were acted upon. But I mean, I imagine in the year of our Lord 2026 talking about an AI that wants you to do what it says or else, you're not going to find that many allies for that point of view. So yeah, there's that. There's sort of a survivor group called the Chiefess. As far as I can tell, that is an independent group, not aligned. That would be, I guess, the independent humanity group. Although again, they're not necessarily friendly with the other human factions. And then the details in terms of who you are as a character, we already kind of covered. So let's, I think I'll move my units and then we'll read through some of these alerts.
No such thing as safe anymore. This isn't the world I knew. I'm not dying today.
Okay. So I do want to take, I mean, the icon, the algae I don't need, but getting energy per turn is kind of nice. And just in general, I feel like grabbing resources is what you want to do here. This also involves getting little goodie packages. So I think what we'll do is we will take the crystal basin. That's actually good for, I rather like this start actually. Nope, never mind. So I am tempted to see what's here and get the goodies. There's also something over here, but let's grab the cash that we can. That is very welcome. So I couldn't have known that at the time, but I got, so there's the one bonus, first of all, is the sharpshooters. Furthermore, we found another path to get to the construct. Or actually, we know that it's a construct now. So that's good.
Nothing to lose but my chains.
Does it say Jimmy? Hope, the romantic never the romantic never convinced me to believe in such foolishness. He could never describe a world after the war, but he believed in it anyway. There was strength in that. Cynics like me could only see what was right in front of our faces. He taught his troops how to look toward the future. Okay, so it's recommending one of these two spots. I always get, I do get the option of moving wherever I want, but in general, I think it's not a bad idea to pursue what the game advises. Now, I do like the bonuses, but I don't think it would hurt to... So I was thinking maybe it wouldn't hurt to move over here so that I can get the food, but then I notice, like, when I consider the radius and around the time I'm really going to be expanding, probably it doesn't matter between the two, but I think we'll go here. Also makes me happy that the militia got hit first. So at least from the tutorial, it said, start with the barracks and move up. Let's say, oh, it didn't appreciate that 20 as well. So this feels like this is the smaller thing to give up. And then I do want to incorporate the construct where I can, given that it's going to be 4 extra minerals inside in order to get, well, it's not exactly the same, but it would cost me 4 turns, 20 minerals, and have an energy upkeep. So it's not a bad little boost.
This isn't the world I knew.
Oh. Well, let's get more goodies.
Got it.
All right, I have no use for the algae, but I won't sell it quite yet. Okay, let's look at research. So I feel reasonably comfortable with the tech here. Remember I said that you can do the other affinities. So for instance, if we were playing something with the voice, there's the fermentation vat, which would give us algae, and midnight chorus, which costs algae, or sorry, it grants algae, but I believe the Abkluth dragoons would cost algae. Maybe if I choose devotees of Thrakos, yeah. So those are 5 algae. Anyways, we're going to focus on human stuff. So what I do want to check, though, is there are the bonuses for... Sorry, there's the affinity research, right? But then there's the there's also the faction research. So in this case, even the Obols, modifier for scavenger, additional resources from kills. So this is tempting. One of the things I want to move toward relatively quickly would be engineers, so I can build additional cities. So I think I'm going to do specimen containment. I don't know if this is the smartest thing to start with, but I like the idea of that early extra research whenever I kill a neutral unit. And yeah, I'm gonna, as much as I can, I'm gonna try and move towards engineers and related capabilities. Okay. So let's go through my queue. So don't need to worry about the algae. City discovered. Urban warfare is brutal. Every piece of cover that protects your troops feels like it gives double the shielding to your enemy. I prefer defending cities under siege than street-to-street fighting. In a siege, you felt solidarity with civilians and other soldiers. In the streets, you could only trust your squad. Anyone else might sell you out. Atmospheric anchor discovered. More watchmaker tech. They insisted they made these to harvest power in regions where warm air smashed into cold air, but I think they didn't know their own people. Someone in their ranks knew it could be a weapon, and that someone kept their mouth shut instead of speaking up. So, gives us energy and chips, 200 resources from outposts. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. Generates an ion discharge every 10 turns. Okay, that's fine. Got sharpshooters, Reaver Depot. Got into a long scrap with a Scion that went on for months. There was a Reaver base dead center in the territory we traded. Every few weeks, one of us would push through and claim it, and every time the Reavers switched sides on a dime. No loyalty creates its own kind of reliability. This is desirable for me both for the minerals and the influence, but I mean, realistically, I'd grab any outpost that I can. Water. Water still coursed through the planet's arteries and was still the key vessel in making life. Even the cybernetic creatures of our new world needed water-cooled facilities. A grim tragedy, then, that though all the warring factions respected the waterways, our escalating conflict would poison them for future generations. Alright, so we got attacked. Sharpshooters. Ever listen in on a sniper spotter team at work? It's so clinical until it isn't. Go to Sector 3 Delta. Contact. 5 degrees off the oozing pile of meat. Contact. Go to glass. Target has 4 limbs and an arm hanging out of its mouth. Confirm? That's... Fuck, yeah, that's your target. Confirm. Then yeah, biological infantry with anti-infantry sniper rifles as well as stealth and reconnaissance capabilities. I believe... Yeah, so lower accuracy against range units at range 1. But 100% damage against non-large units. Okay. Ruins, Earth that was, the old world, the before times. There was plenty of ways to refer to life before the Akron. None of them could sum up what it felt like to gaze in the ruins and daydream of what it was like before. Soon children will be born with no memory of this place. I don't know if I envy them or not. I can't imagine fighting without this sadness in me. So bonus towards minerals, but fewer building slots. Fire? Word spread quickly about the Battle of the Castic Plain. Our forces staged an assault to take control of a water reserve from the enemy. Shots were fired, the wind was high, the ground dry as kindling. Inside of an hour, a wildfire surrounded both armies. They should have stopped fighting, worked together to douse the flames, but instead hundreds were killed and fresh water poisoned, never to be drunk again. Road. The first night after we got the first roads constructed, I hopped in an Outrider and drove for miles. Burned too much gas just to feel the wind running through my hair, feeling the tires grip the asphalt as I took the turns. I didn't want to go back to the war. I just wanted to drive forever. Volcanic. After the fulcrum cracked the tectonic plates apart, there was volcanic activity across the globe, way more than the shot itself caused. A new researcher had a decent theory. ZEPHON could now access rare minerals near the Earth's core and was mining down there. Smart kid. I hope she makes it. Human cache. We'd find traces of other groups while out on recon pre-war or recent survivors. There'd be found abandoned gear by a campfire, dust-covered resource caches, occasionally a lone soul who struck out on their own. Another fighting hand was always welcome, but their stories about making it out on their own, that inspiration had its own value. Okay, found the binary district, voice cache. It was no secret who left these caches behind. Akron wanderers desperate to survive on the ruins of Earth were a common enough occurrence. It felt good to be taking something back from them, even if it was one of their troops. Making their resources a part of our war effort was just more mud in their eye. They tried to kill us, we survived, now we eat from their table. Cybercache. Machines don't need to squirrel away supplies, and they sure as hell don't leave anything behind when they abandon a base. So what were these doing in the wastes? Was someone or something experimenting on us? Dispensing supplies to see how it changed the face of the war? All these years and I still don't know who's behind them. Icon of Varadai. That time the voice cultists held me captive. They kept me prisoner in one of these shrines to Varadai, used me as bait, slaughtered the troops sent to rescue me and sacrifice to their god, then tossed their bodies in the algae pools where when they were finished. So again, I don't need the algae, but the energy is welcome. Crystal Basin. Mineral-rich mining hubs didn't just make for good resource hubs, they also provided plenty of cover. We learned to build fortresses in regions like these and used them to harden our borders. Sure, they became high-value targets when our enemies wanted to hit our supply lines, but to lay the best traps, you need the best bait. Bleed. The voice's tendrils bled out from one reality and into our own, prying open a door to madness. These should not have plagued our Earth. Their sickly, slimy extremities reached out in search of flesh or metal to ensnare. Can't even escape the sight of them in my sleep. Some nights, often on a full moon, I wake sweating, still feeling the phantom pull of them dragging me to the earth. I assume this was all in my head, but I've heard the whispers in the mess hall. Others dream of being crushed too. Hello, the Eyes of Sin. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you've seen me play this or not, but I did the although it is a shame, I was debating on doing Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, which is one I think you would have enjoyed, so hopefully this isn't too unwelcome. This is a really interesting strategy game, so I don't know how often you play sort of the Civilization style games, but this one's really unique for its it has its own setting in this very interesting sort of post-apocalyptic world where they've sort of combined eldritch horror with some cyberpunkish elements. At least that's the way they kind of sell it on like Reddit ads and stuff like that. It's a thoroughly original setting, but they don't just give you. I mean, I'm kind of doing a lore dump because I'm reading all of the descriptions, but like you do actually need to do some work to piece it out, and you do get an interesting ending where you're sort of confronted with a little bit more of a larger meta narrative, and I I will confess, I've never really seen that in a game before. I think it's quite interesting. So hopefully you don't mind me going through the remaining entries. Arctic. The frigid wastes of old Earth were now home to snow-white abcluth that hyper-evolved to hunt in a new environment. We still struck out here for one vital reason. This terrain gave our techs an optimal environment to do their research. Low humidity and temperatures, combined with clear sight lines, made weapons testing far more efficient, they said. Maybe they just preferred the cold. River. Every predator on Earth knew that you find your prey at their weakest when they search for water, and prey species knew that when they seek water, they risk being hunted. You do well to make yourself the predator, but if you find yourself the prey, remember that crossing the rushing water will slow down most hunters. Rocks. Mining stone from the Earth is one of the first indications of civilization. Too bad the terrain made it hard to build civilization in regions like this. I was grateful we didn't have to move stone like our ancestors did. The guarding supply runs and to and from the mines always made me nervous. Oh, Dune's an interesting comparison. I can see that. Also, I feel like I should share with chat. This is totally unrelated to the game, but this political compass has been making the rounds. I had to laugh at the one I got, but it's a modern political alignment quiz for those of you that want to learn your personality through modern political figures. I'm interested to see what people guess my result was. The last day I ever thought of the forest as safe, I was camped up by a creek, scratching out battle plans in the dirt. There was the crack of a branch. I was too slow to react. My spotter was cut down by gunfire from the opposite bank. There was no solace in the trees after that, only 1,000 rustling branches that disguised the sound of enemy movement. The arc discharge. Do you know what that was? ZEPHON's wiring ran under everything, everywhere, miles and miles of raw copper. These arcs were a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of ZEPHON's power lashing out at you. You could take advantage of that power if you wanted, but your enemies could too. So this one enhances your damage, but you take a bit more. Proportionately less, but you still take more damage. Brush. You'd find small creatures feeding on plants out in the grasslands, bigger mammals feeding on the creatures, and so on and so on. If we had more time, we could have worked carefully to carefully place ourselves in that cycle. Instead, we disrupted it, forced ourselves into it. An army marches on its stomach, and we had bellies to fill. And construct. ZEPHON must have needed an inconceivable amount of power to wage its war against the Akron. The text guessed that if fossil fuels or renewables were being quickly taken offline, it would react by building zones like these to generate a new power-efficient resource. If you got far enough into one of these zones, you'd start to think that the planet was now one giant machine. So I don't really need chips. That's why I originally said that I was concerned that this maybe wouldn't be, excuse me, that good of a start for me. Okay. I think we're ready to go to the next turn.
This isn't the world I knew.
Shallow foundations. You'd never pray per se, but building the walls of the city with your compatriots, your sweat mingled in the air and your hands met. A joyous fellow feeling there was, a remembered brotherhood. You suppress a memory of your own brother. A new start for humanity. Like Ishmael squeezing the spermaceti in Moby Dick, this was a passing fancy. For like Ahab, you have a purpose, to defeat the world's greatest horrors, which might mean putting aside your own desires, old world morality. The simple joys of poetry and friendship are not for you now. As your troops leave the city, you wonder whether you will know when you've lost your way. Okay. My preference... Okay, no, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to operate assuming that it's not just that there's an enemy here, but it's an anti-infantry enemy. So I do want to make sure that I'm claiming resources, though. So I'm going to let this unit, which can't get to any cover in relation to the sharpshooters, I'm going to let them take care of the cache.
This isn't the world I knew.
Now the drawback for this unit... Actually, you know what? Maybe I don't need to chase them down at all. Yeah, I'm going to move over here.
We have to.
So these guys can go pursuing the enemy.
Hey, boss is speaking.
So this unit I'm just going to heal up.
Okay. I'm not dying.
Okay, these are going to be tough to deal with, but I believe they would be leashed. Yep.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
And I suppose I've forced the decision, so we're going to take some damage from the fire. Alright, Akron crash site discovered. Every time you thought the last Akron ship had crashed from orbit, another would light up the sky as it burned in the Atmo. The Akron looted them to reclaim pieces of their homeworld. The humans raided them to steal the technology. And ZEPHON? Well, I still don't know what ZEPHON wanted. I just know that we had to fight it for our share. So this gives extra research, which makes it a pretty high priority. Thrice named Peaks, Volcano. The Akron's opening salvo was that damned fulcrum. With that damned fulcrum, cracked open the earth and shifted its tectonic plates. The battlefield was littered with massive volcanoes on every continent, towers of burning air, ash, and fire that cooked good soldiers alive. Okay, so here's the enemy we're going to deal with. Agalian worms. Hearing the voice didn't change everyone the same. Some kept looking for that dark, quiet place, come back changed to find it, delving into the black depths of the earth. To see a friend's face on one of these, dragging itself out of stone and dirt, that was hard. So, this is a voice unit, biological short-range anti-armor infantry that can move underground. So, in this case, corrosive, -2 armor, and has splash, so 25% attacks per additional target group member. So basically, I mean, like, armor is one thing. There's 6 people in this group, which means it's more dangerous than, say, the sharpshooters, for which there are 2. Now, in fairness, you know, the sharpshooters don't... Oh, actually... They have the same health. Interesting. Either way, as you can see, it's preposterous amounts of damage, so I want to be nice to those.
This isn't the world I knew.
Alright.
Yeah, alright.
Gonna get the goodies. Alright, that's unfortunate, but I think I'm fighting from a stronger position if I move in here. Although they're still probably gonna cause me trouble.
Safe anymore.
Missile teams. Plenty of militants were eager to pilot anti-armor bots far from the battlefield, but resentment grew quickly between the missile operators and the frontline grunts. The solution? We docked rations every time the missile team pilots tripped their drones or missed a shot. It was better if they hated us, not each other. I'm actually curious. I think if this counts as leashed, what I might be able to do is heal up in the crash site. I'm not rushing to take out enemy units right now. Aha. So that's going to hurt my morale. This seems like a good use of There Is Hope. And I hate this thing enough that I think we're going to move our...
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, alright.
our people into the area. Now, it
Boss is speaking.
did occur to me a smarter choice.
How? Wait, I just... Keep up.
So I don't get the healing on this, but I actually heal faster if I go into into one of the outposts. Okay, sentries. ZEPHON wanted nothing to do with us. It could have just told us that directly. Instead, it posted up sentries that looked to be guarding something. We learned really quickly that they could hold a grudge. If you were the kind of grunt who liked to stomp ants because they couldn't hit back, boy, were these things a pain in the ass. More like an ant that would chew through your boot and then try to take a few toes out before you put it down. So the Dark Vassal, or maybe Vassal? Not all who hear the voice can comprehend it. Not all come back from the edge, or not alone. Is it better to come back like this, a bag of aggregated human systems and minds, or not at all? What must it be like to be in there? Large biological creature with a horrifying attack that reduces enemy morale. Larva cannon. Horrifying -2 morale to attacked enemy. There was something wrong with a creature that used its young as a weapon. Bad enough to be covered in voice-tainted shit. The fact that it was alive, that it was crawling on you, that drove some of us to a brink. Not everyone made it back. So that's why I paid to get the morale back. We are probably going to have to work hard to take this thing out, to be honest. Desert. Open plains and stable weather made the desert a remarkably stable environment for generating electricity, but it gave our workers one hell of a hostile environment to work in. Dehydration could take down humans and aliens alike, and sandstorms did particularly nasty work to machines. Abcluths. The Akron's creatures, pets or food, I never knew, but they got loose from the wreckage of the crash site and made themselves at home here. We couldn't eat them, fundamentally different biologies, I hear. But if you didn't hunt them, they'd kill or shred everything that you could eat. I'm going to assume high on the Neo-Luddite rating then. The fog. It was a death trap they sent us anyway. Even when pierced by our lanterns, the fog crept through our orifices and made our insides burn. The Akron in the mist taunted us from a distance, laughing at how the mildewy air that made them glow with power was making us choke on our own bile. So, reduces sight, higher movement cost, damage reduction, but enemy units take damage and enemy heals, so don't go in the fog. All right. Time to build a barracks.
This isn't the world I knew.
All right.
Ain't no such thing
So
as
again,
safe
this is
anymore.
not,
I'm dying today.
it's not immediately clear to me that this is a fight that I want to keep
Okay,
taking.
get him! Open fire! On it.
Hey, boss is speaking. Vantage point marked.
Sure, fine.
I also don't think I want to take on the Reavers quite yet, but I am going to sit and heal here.
Again?
Reavers! Desperation drove some of our people to terrible ends. In what might have been humanity's last hours, they traded theirs away for better odds of staying alive in the wasteland. Their bodies walked the earth, but the people inside them faded away with every passing day. I'm going to keep an eye on you. You might be playing for the wrong side. Interesting. I gotta get out of here.
This isn't the world I knew.
Actually, to be honest, I don't think there's a way that this unit survives.
Yeah, alright.
I'll give it a shot, but like all this needs to do is like run an attack.
I'm not dying today.
All right.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, got it. Shooting!
I'm gonna take the goodies.
Just sitting here.
Sacre bleu. Okay, so it's leashed, so it may not fire again. But you can already see how I'm really feeling the impact of not having the easy healing from the fallen soldier. Okay. Swamp. All kinds of life made its home in the swamps. If you could handle the humidity, you'd be able to find plenty of food to keep your army on its feet. Experienced trackers knew to watch for muddy terrain. If your feet sunk in too far, you were easy picking for any hunters on your trail. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to skip
Whatever
there.
keeps us alive.
All right, I'm curious to see the fate for this unit. Oh, they just burned to death. Okay.
We can't take much more of this.
I think to be honest here, I don't really think there is a
This isn't the world I knew.
I don't really think there's a way that this
No
unit
such thing as safe anymore.
survives either way, but I would kind of like to
Have to. Yeah, alright. Hostiles! Weapons free!
I would kind of like to see how that would play out differently.
Check sights.
Sight set.
Yeah, same outcome. So I'm going to try one more.
I'm not dying today. Okay. Fine. Whatever keeps us alive.
That one makes the least sense to me, but again, I'm kind of mostly I'm just learning. Now one thing I
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
am neglecting to recognize here is that the draw is different each time I get a cache, so the results are actually different. So we got minerals and influence.
We can't take much more of this.
We once had an Abgluth contained in a prototype specimen container at a field outpost. It was pacing the confined space, slamming itself into the walls at random intervals. I thought it was trying to escape until a pack of Abgluths swarmed our camp, devouring a group of helpless techs. It had been signaling to its pack. We soundproofed the containers after that. Okay, from there, let's do the automated factory. Aha.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Hey, boss is speaking.
That is
I'm not dying today. On it.
tricky.
This isn't the world I knew.
I don't know why I was reminded of this because Rory dragged you to Wendy's here to try Banana Frosty, and they have some disturbing Minions promotion going on, but I couldn't help but imagine those little yellow abominations scampering wetly out of a swamp and descending upon some space explorers. That sounds about consistent for this game. So this is actually quite a pickle. I think I'm going to try my chances... No... Okay.
Fine. Whatever keeps us alive. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
What a waste.
We'll make it through. We have to.
I kind of need to offer something tempting, but like all my units are quite weak, and we don't have a lot of options to clean up.
Status.
Disturbing my call. This isn't the world I knew.
What's over there?
Good lord. All right.
Making tracks.
I'm gonna get Overwatch to death on this. No, I'm not. That's right. Okay.
You're on first watch.
Again.
I'm not dying today. It's better
I'm
than
not
just
sure this
sitting
is
here.
exactly a fight I want to be taking right now, but so sadly, no. There's not much to show for that except the science. Ideally, there would have been some military units to get the experience off of that. Abkan, if this monster had wings, we might have called it a dragon. It lurked in hostile environments, greedily hoarding its precious resources. It even had the breath of a dragon, only it burned its victims with ice instead of fire. If you killed one, you didn't linger near its lair. Rumor had it that days after its death, the beast would rise again. So yeah, I think trying to take out the Dark Vassal and consolidating my troops, because there's obviously we're gonna want to have groups of people taking these things out. Abkan built their nests with the sharpened trunks of pine trees. We asked the Akron hunters how we could flush them out, and learned on their world the Akron would slowly advance into the nest using pikes. Hunts could last for days at a time. We didn't have time for that shit. Cannon fire would work much faster. Busters. The Reavers refused to be left behind in an arms race. As we built stronger armor, they scavenged more powerful weapons to break through it. Some found a particular love for fire. They would strike our flanks like a blazing hot wind, lobbing incendiary grenades that melted our troops to the bone. They wanted us to know that until all of them were slaughtered, they would always be a threat. I think they can still take this unit out, but let's see. Oh, cicadas. Look, I don't make the rules. Bugs were rich in protein and easy to cook into larger meals. Some of our people had lived in pre-war countries where cicadas were regularly on the menu. Catching them kept our people's bellies fed, and anyone who complained, well, they had two choices: starve or swallow their pride. Yeah, they're still going for it. Land shrimp. Well, easy come, easy go.
Safe anymore.
Good lord. Okay, cries for help. An intermittent radio signal, faint distant voices, and sounds of gunfire. A small group of human survivors has got bogged down in the wilds and is in dire need of help. They beg, demand, threaten. Your soldiers know this group. They're fierce fighters known as the Splenetics, and will be a great help if we can reach them. But if we ignore them, they will never forget it and will hold a grudge as long as they live. Promise to help. Okay, 10 turns to do this. This is going to be a hard one. Now you just have to stick to your word. Can your troops get to them in time? The route is tangled. The enemy is numerous and the Splenetics are far off. Now that you've promised help, if you fail, who knows what they'll do if they survive.
I'm not dying today.
Okay, this is something I can work with.
Yeah, alright. This isn't the world I knew.
I'll invite an Overwatch, but I can live with that. Now, this I feel like I can't afford because of the damage to health, but I've got a few turns before that comes up.
It's better than just sitting here.
I think in this case I really need to keep... oh, but that's probably going to unleash these guys. Nope, okay, we're good.
Enemy!
Oh, but that's unleashed now. That also hits my my morale, so... An advanced cyber cache. For a short time, some of my lieutenants tried to work out the point of these cache drops. If they gave us resources, it must have been to maximize a specific form of production. If we found units, we assumed we should build strategies around them. I told them to snap out of it. We'd have better luck drawing from a tarot deck. Fragment of the Fulcrum. Akron stories about the Fulcrum didn't mention how its guts were lined with teeth, eyes, skin. I wanted to stay the hell away from the parts that hit Earthside, but whatever weird energy it was pumping out into the world made them too valuable to pass up. So, for those of you that wanted to know what the Fulcrum looks like. Veins of the Fulcrum. Liquid always oozed out of the Fulcrum fragments, supercharged high-end resources. No one knew its origins. Humans guessed it produced fuel for the journey to Earth. Machines would babble about radiant biomachines meant for terraforming. Voice cultists? They were scared. Said it wasn't a gift from their gods, more like a curse from something darker. And Dream Eater. We call these things Dream Eaters, but they really fed on our souls. They knew exactly where in the human brain was the fine line between chemicals and consciousness. If you drew close, they would grab you, rip open your skull, find that line, and drink in everything that made you truly alive. Oh yes, it also takes control of broken enemies, so
No such thing as safe anymore.
there's that. Honestly, if mind control's on the table, we should probably retreat. Another classic problem of warfare. Whether you needed to haul weapons, supplies, or people, you needed hardware that could make the journey. We started small, of course. In time, we built transports and tanks that went far beyond the capacity of old world engineers. Okay, I suppose I should do a commander sooner rather than later, but I will not lie, this is not a promising start.
We'll make it through. We have to. Okay. I'm not
I don't even know if this really protects from the...
on it.
Okay, I can work with this. I don't really know if this is protecting the Splenetics that much, but we can move back to the city. So the Cassiel Shredders, siding with the machines made more sense after watching a pack of Shredders eviscerate the fleshy meat sacks of a dark vessel. The buzzsaws tore away hunks of meat from its bones, and it died with its organs spilling out onto the ground. It was such a sight that I didn't even mind the smell. So, Shredders. We nearly rang up the engineers once for mutiny after I'd caught them fucking with the Shredders. It looked a lot like sabotage, but they'd found out that if you played with the speed of the blades, they sounded like a mechanical chorus. They talked about making a show for the civilians, like seeing a squad of shrieking drones would somehow distract them from the death and destruction. So apparently these things, like, the accuracy grows the fewer of them there are, so they get weaker. So, like, obviously they get weaker in terms of having fewer units, but you, what was it? Swarm Havoc, +1 accuracy per missing group member. Okay.
This isn't the world I knew.
I'm gonna keep...
Fine. Whatever keeps us alive.
Well, I mean, this thing's gonna be running after me, so I might as well... Ugh, this is gonna get ugly. Alright, as many militants as I can, and... we're okay for housing now, so I'm gonna do the automated factory. I think I'm gonna have to put some investment in food. Okay, let's see what the butcher's bill is. Yikes. Man, they took that out in one turn.
No such thing as safe anymore.
So... I don't think there's any win on this. Like, we can try running.
On it.
But...
Kill them before they kill us. We'll make it through. We have to. Yeah, got it.
I feel like I have played this start very poorly. Okay.
It's better than just sitting here.
At this point, I need to conserve resources. So...
Okay, I'm not dying today. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Fine, whatever keeps us alive. This isn't the world I knew.
I'm not entirely sure that's a faster path, but... Now, I still need people to rescue the Splenetics, right? I don't have that many turns, but I do need to work out the...
To the front lines.
Okay.
We'll make it through.
I think for this one, we scream "You only YOLO" once and do our best.
Got it.
We'll keep cranking out the militants. Advanced voice cache. High-value Akron caches literally fell from the sky. In the aftermath of the destruction of their fleet, we watched debris descend from orbit on a daily basis, sometimes dropping supplies or survivors right on our border. Finding these caches would have been a relief, but it was just a reminder about the great metal graveyard swooping above our heads, raining down debris that might kill us all. I actually had a couple of ideas here. So first thing I'm going to do is... there should be a way to turn off Overwatch.
I'm not dying today.
Commander, we had hoped that the commanders were the best of us. They didn't skulk away behind the front lines. They were out front, risking everything, talking to the refugees, fighting the horrors, equipping them with exoskeletons, improved their combat performance, but also did a hell of a lot for morale. So I do want to do a research laboratory, but it's gonna take a while before we can get that. So at this point, I think we can do... I'm tempted to do Valkyria, but I think habitation block makes more sense.
This isn't the world I knew.
Okay, so we're gonna
Better than just sitting here.
tuck these guys away for
We'll make it through.
healing.
We have to.
Ooh. So again, just to repeat what it says on Leashed. So stays within the perimeter, overwatches, but does not necessarily attack on its turn. When attacked, it will be unleashed along with any nearby allies. So basically, I want to be polite.
I'm not dying today.
All right.
On it.
And this thing's leashed again, so it may make sense for me to take the damage on the bleed just so I can get the high-level unit. Caitiffs! What, no made-up god for this flavor of freak? I'd killed one of these new horror shows and watched one of its wanted one of its hooks for a trophy. But then it was like the fucker heard me. It grabbed me with the human left arm and clubbed my head with the right, getting back to its feet. And why did it sound like it was laughing?
This isn't the world I knew.
So yeah, I don't want to attack.
Fine. Whatever keeps it alive.
Sandstorm. Armor could block the sand. Scanners could penetrate the darkness. But nothing could protect your mind from the wrath of it all. Lightning, sand, and wind all blurred together, and the earth roared in vengeance. It knew about the violence we'd brought to its surface, and this storm was its way of fighting back. Okay. We will produce a commander. It's a pretty strong unit.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, got it.
Okay, we get hit by the Overwatch. Fortunately, we were in cover. Now, I suppose if I want to fight, right, we can try and take on the sentries, but I think at this point,
All right.
I'm content to take the outpost.
This isn't the world I knew. It's better than just sitting here.
Okay, that's more damage than I would necessarily want to take, but as long as this thing's still leashed.
Time is short. We
Yikes.
were made and metal. We wither and wait.
All right. We're actually running quite low on food. I should have thought that through. Why did you attack?
I'm not dying today.
All right.
Okay.
Ugh. You reach the remaining splenetic units at the last possible moment. After a short rest, your troop suggests that the handful of surviving splenetic troopers could be good recruits. They're grateful for the rescue and happy to join your cause. And the Anchorite's calling. Merciful potentate, war divides us, yes, but to big a moment. To be the eldest of the remaining eldest remaining of Akron. To follow prophecy and bring cleansing torch to your world. To all life remains the threat. To know our failure, to now face extinction. To never forget, a grave threat grew on this planet to call Akron across time and space to fail to prevent it. So normally when you see that, it means that there is an Akron unit that's in the area. Okay, so the problem I'm going to run into here is that if these things actually decide to start fighting me, I can get wiped out. So I sort of need to consolidate my my units before we we go too hard. Make sure.
Within reach.
So I get a bunch of bonuses for taking these things out. So I do actually want to start fighting. I do also want to be conscious of the fact that my food is going to... I'm going to run out of food in a little bit, and I will need to... I'll have some penalties to my my attacks. Oh, there's the Anchorite. That sucks.
Point me to the front lines. Yeah, all right. This isn't the world I knew.
Time is short.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Okay, they're
Better than
all
just sitting
healed.
here. We'll make it through. We have to. Okay.
Ugh.
Fine. Whatever keeps us alive. On it.
This is something of a Hail Mary. Oh no.
I'm not dying today.
All right. I mean, like I said, not an auspicious start, but I'm gonna change up the orders a bit. So I think in this case, 2 greenhouse farms.
This isn't the world I knew. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
So ideally, I would be in single tile range given close quarters fire. But I think this is as good as we're gonna get it.
Better than just sitting here.
Cover would also be nice, but at this point we'll just mass everyone and start taking these units out one at a time. Unfortunately, we lost the construct.
It was us or them. It wasn't gonna be us.
Well,
Yeah, got it.
should have moved them closer into the area, but
I'm not dying today. On it. Shooting.
this may not be the smartest move I've done, but I feel like we can come out on top. Not at this rate.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Okay. Thing with feathers. Oh, okay, definitely want that one. So being able to get the health with the morale is a good one. We're going to be seeing some losses to our accuracy due to undersupplied, but the way I'm going to react to that,
Today. We'll make it through.
I'm basically just going to
Yeah, all right.
try and
Got it.
throw as much as I can at the problem.
World I knew. On it. Enemy.
I basically just want to kill the enemy before they before my undersupply gets the better of me.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
And you know what? I think discretion's a better part of valor on this one. We can always come back and reclaim our territory. My nemesis.
Now keep us alive.
Oh, that's funny. We generated Reavers.
What do you need?
Okay,
Good.
the commanders definitely welcome here.
Okay.
Now, sadly, I didn't see where...
We'll make it through. We have to.
Found him.
Yeah, got it. This isn't the world I knew. Kill them before they kill us.
Staying focused.
Probably should have crammed some people in the vehicle.
Is short. I've got a problem with the door.
Yeah, all right. Weapons free.
Yeah, I think we run ahead. These are also scout units, so they should help me clear out the baddies. Akron Zealots. Pity the grunts. One day they learned about the Zealots. Akron, who could walk into one patch of bleed tendrils and emerge from the other. Next thing, every bleed hub had a bunch of idiot soldiers hunkered outside of it. Like the Akron were just going to walk into their bullets. Jesus, where do we find these people? All right. I'm okay building the Outriders, but I definitely overdid it on the soldiers. And I don't know if I want to try and make peace with the Akron.
This isn't the
They're not
world I knew.
that easy of a... Okay.
I'm not dying today. On it.
So what I'll do here, I do want to still take advantage of the proximity. Ideally, I would be in cover, but
We have to.
I'll work with what I've been given.
Looking for something? Let's make some
Now, the
new
missile
ones.
team is the sort of thing that probably
We'll make it.
wants to eat my, like it probably wants to eat my Outrider, but
Free. Kill them before they kill us. Fine. Whatever keeps it alive. Shooting.
Ready for whatever's out there.
we're not immune from the Akron. In fact, if they moved up here, that would be pretty bad for us because they have cover and they're attacking something out in the open, but
This isn't the world
I do
knew.
sort of want to focus on the fights I can win. I wish I had someone with better vision.
You just give it orders, don't you?
I'm not dying today. Okay.
Looking for something?
So, I mean, I can live with this, but I think
What do you want? I know where I'm going.
On it.
I'm content to just hold back on that. Okay.
Isn't the world I knew.
First order of business is to take out the missile team.
Open fire. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, all right. Hostiles.
This is pretty helpful because it grants us healing.
Ready for whatever's out there.
I'm going to keep the splenetics healing there, but let's put a couple
We'll make it
people...
through. We have to.
Fine.
We can't
As long as I can close the distance, we'll actually...
What do you
We
need,
should have a
sunshine?
good time against them, but... I probably should have taken this thing out before I
Taking the field. Engaging. We're
packed everyone away, but...
I'm sorry it came to this.
looking for something?
Temple of Krilla discovered. Cultists walking the path of Krilla could smell these places from a mile away. They said their god blessed them with gifts here, provided food, algae, and healing for his weary flock. I wasn't convinced. No other voice cultist spoke of such kindness. Krilla wouldn't be the one to demand anything other than pain. Okay. So I do want to move in on the objective.
Whatever's out there.
Okay. I mean, if I'm feeling bold, maybe I want to try and take out the Akron settlement. But this will be where I feel feel the effects of not having the fallen soldiers' abilities. The thing with feathers. Pinned down again. Bullet caught my cheek. Checked my pack for a bandage. Pulled out a carved bird instead. The romantic symbol of hope. He must have slipped it in my pack. Felt something coming off it. No voice magic, no AI bullshit. Just a tchotchke the romantic made with his bare hands. Pain faded a little. Just enough for me to grab my rifle and get back into the fight. Okay, I still think I need to go for the Hollow Theater, as cool as it would be to get Valkyria.
This isn't the world I knew.
Can't stay here.
I don't quite want to overplay my hand.
Staying focused.
This is welcome, though.
On my mark.
We're missing out on some experience, but I can live with a second
Such
best.
thing as safe anymore.
You just love giving orders, don't you?
So one of the drawbacks with this new focus is... Actually, I'm going to do something a little reckless, but...
Contact!
What was I going to say? One drawback is by trying to take out Relkant Vorb, I'm missing the opportunities to grab all of these empty outposts. But on the other hand, you know, it's a chance for me to try and kick this potentially threatening enemy at a time when I feel like I have some strength to apply. We'll see. Actually, looks like there's a few more of those than I thought. But it looks like they're fighting something else as well.
What do you need, sunshine?
So
Just clear me a path.
I have thoughts.
Take 'em down.
Looking for something? Let's make some new roads.
I'm not dying today. Hostiles! This isn't the world I knew. Enemy! Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
We'll make it through this.
So not quite enough to seal the deal, but
Fraction within reach. Slouching forward.
I know where I'm going.
all right. Yeah, we'll get more militants. All right, it's scared about something.
Outrider is ready for recon.
Alien intelligence. Your guards grudgingly allow a slight figure to approach. He's a data historian by the name of Landon Graham, who's documenting the fall of Earth. He says for the hereafter, one of the Akron settlement vessels, Azad, crash-landed nearby, and his research among the ship's survivors has uncovered something unusual, that it contains a vault packed with their race's folktales and stories. The Akron consider it a gravesite and taboo, but he asks if you'll guide him there so he can access the vault. In return, he promises he'll give you a copy of the data, in case it is of any use. Sure, we'll escort the historian. I don't know... Right. I mean, that's not a terrible place to be, seeing as I kind of want to claim this already, but we're definitely
Body full of holes.
not going to be going for that right away. Now,
This isn't the world I knew.
I'm
No such thing as safe
taking some
anymore.
risks doing this, but
Get 'em! It's better than just sitting here. Weapons free!
think I'm gonna
Fine. Whatever keeps us alive.
hold position on this one.
Death is pain.
Now, I kind of screwed this one up because I could have given bonuses to my units by having the commander in place.
Take him down.
Okay.
We can't stay here. Ready for whatever's out there. Drive. Looking for something?
This isn't the world I knew. Shooting!
Shifting gears. One for the road, two for the grave.
Okay, this is nice. So I should mention that Shaken,
Be the last of them.
so minus 17% to attacks, and then bonus to attacks against the unit. And then if someone is broken,
Focus.
you get an even larger bonus. Okay, I'm gonna need to think about the habitation block. All right, we kind of knew that was going to be coming up. That is a really heavy hitter, though.
What do you need, sunshine?
I'm not entirely sure
Yeah, got it. I'm not dying today.
I'm going to have enough to
Open fire! Yeah, alright.
to protect my people from that.
Enemy!
We'll make it through this. Keep us from fire. This sword.
Looking for something? Get some lead in 'em.
It's better than just sitting here. On it.
We can't stay here. Ready for whatever's out there. Let's make some new roads.
So I have a lot of bodies. It's just not obvious to me that we're going to be able to clear this out in time. I do want to keep an I do want to keep an eye on whether or not these militants heal in the vehicle or not. So right now they're at 5 of 13. And Erebus Excavator, the Warlord and the Chiefess were the only ones who could tell me how pre-war excavators ended up over chip deposits. He claimed they walked across the land like mighty beasts. She said she watched ZEPHON's machines haul them into position. I think he was drunk. All right, that was a lot. Hollow Theater, an immersive simulation structure able to give people a shared dream. The best of us use these to escape our hellish world. The worst of us, the foul-minded, they used it for brainwashing. I still don't know what became of some of those experiments. They may still be suffering to this day. Okay, I thought there was an ability that, yes, Collective Conduit's what I'm thinking of. So again, I do want Valkyria, but let's do Collective Conduit. Reallocate, use a production building to disband target non-summon, non-decaying unit in the city and regain invested resources. Interesting. Actually, I should probably build the engineers first. Das Tutu.
Sit.
Beta, are you looking from what? You are looking for what from our chat? You are understanding that I, Das Tutu, am leader in name only. I do the needful because no one else does. My people, they do what they are wanting, taking from my words unintended wisdom and their own answers, nah? For me, I would stop this war, all wars, but it is beyond my power. Do not be considering this false humility. I seek not worship, but only to find a fit object of worship. Now I must go, talk my followers down from war.
Very wise. Very wise.
My people are cheering in the streets for this monstrous conflict. Sometimes I am thinking they are not listening at all. Your standing with Das Tutu has increased because of your war with the Anchorite.
See. My people are wanting this.
I am no poet. I am knowing Marabi, and that is it. But I'm willing to listen, if we can encourage our followers to pause. Your high standing had a major impact on this decision. Two things. One, I definitely can't afford two fights at the same time. But also, the Anchorite seems to be pretty worried about this guy. So yes, let us accept
This
peace.
is fine, nah?
Why are you still here? Excuse me, I was dozing. Let's offer the trade agreement.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
With alacrity.
Ah, the ties of amity. They are paving the road to universal love, nah? Let us exchange gifts. Yes, your high standing had a major impact on this decision. You have entered a trade agreement and your standing with Das Tutu has increased. Let's see if we can do an alliance.
Oh. No, no.
Maybe. Their lack of affection for you has had a major impact on this decision. Beslama, may you return to me richer in every way. Okay. I feel like that hit me for a lot, so...
Ready for whatever's out there.
I'm gonna back off and heal.
Dying today.
We're losing daylight. We can't stay here.
We'll make it through this.
Alright,
Be there.
I'm gonna do a couple of...
Fraction. Within
No way.
reach.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Shifting gears.
Staying focused.
This isn't the world I knew. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. It was us or them, and it wasn't gonna be us. Much better than just sitting here.
What do you need, sunshine?
We'll make it through.
So this sort of thing is...
Time is short.
it's an example about why I wouldn't be sad if they added...
We smell mint.
if they added
No turning back.
an undo button, because like I'm not entirely sure I learned anything by the commander blocking the unit that I wanted to move, right? It just sort of feels frustrating that it didn't turn out the way I was planning. All right, let's see what the butcher's bill is for the surrounding the city. I mean, that's not so bad. Okay, really wants to murder my people.
Point me to the front line.
To be beyond materialism, possession, yet to yet fear the strengthening of Das Tutu, to catastrophize. Your standing with Anchorite has decreased because of your trade agreement with Das Tutu.
I'm not dying today.
I'm okay with the aliens not liking me.
Right. This isn't the world I knew.
Fraction. Within reach.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
What do you need, sunshine? Taking the
I'm
field.
gonna be a little sneaky and
Okay.
double up on the
Ready for
range bonus.
drive. Get some lead in 'em.
Okay, so it looks like people are healing here, which is good. Exusa Marauder. Before the Akron arrived, I swear I saw these on TV. Giant hovercrafts used for rapid transport or salvaging oil rigs and broken down tankers, I think. They're far from the sea now, though. I don't think they had a missile battery back then either.
Weapons free. I'm not dying today. Hostiles!
So I think this is probably handing the actual takedown of the city to my ally, but I think I can live with that. All right, we're getting a little cramped on housing. Oh, okay, so 3 turns till I'm up till 7. I'm gonna risk it, because the extra minerals will be really helpful. Man, I never even took the minerals here. My bad. I really want to murder those guys. Yeah.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
To know that few survived our fall, that Relkant Vorb was the last refuge of many of our kind, to know the suffering they suffered, to strive to be beyond hate, hate of you, our monstrous alien foe. Your standing with Anchorite has decreased because of your involvement in the destruction of Relkant Vorb, although they're not gone yet. Okay, so one of the first things I want to do here is I want to make sure... Actually, there's a couple things I'm going to do. So we'll set this Outrider to get healed up.
This isn't the world I knew. On it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, got it.
कैसे हो? Oh, no, no.
Seeing through each other's eyes. Very Rawlsian, this justice principle. Be walking in one another's shoes, nah? Their limited world knowledge had a major impact on this decision. You and Dust Tutu have exchanged all explored tiles. Okay.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
So, the real question in front of me now is, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with the space that I've just opened up? I don't think it would hurt to start making a move on this part of the map. I'm also noticing the decrease in energy.
This isn't the world I knew.
So I'm gonna want to be a bit mindful of that. Survivor's Bazaar. There were plenty of opportunists, idealists, and swindlers who drew people to them in the wastelands. What always surprised me was that these canny leaders never took up arms. Some of them could have led armies to victory. Instead, they brought everyone together. And the flesh tree. I nearly walked away the day we decided to use these as a food source, but one smart logistics officer pinned me down with the math. If we camped by one of these trees, we could feed our people for a month. I asked him not to tell me if it turned out to be human meat. Okay. So I'm not too worried about energy because the first engineer that I can build, we will, we'll be able to build in desert tiles. In fact, 1, 2, 3, we're just shy of it, but I figure we can build something in this area and we're good.
This isn't the world I knew.
But
Okay.
let's make our move up to the Akron survivors.
Outrider is ready for recon.
What do you need, Sunshine?
I'm not dying today. We'll make it through. We have to.
Looking for something?
Ain't no such thing as safe
Ellen Ripley, this is the PUBG of video games. How are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, the Temple of Krilla, so this was that healing that I wanted.
Perfection within reach.
We can still afford more Outriders. Sacre bleu!
This isn't the world I knew.
Alright, now, I'm a bit exposed here, so I don't want to... I want to just go crashing into this until everybody's sort of in position and ready to go. I think what I'll do at this point...
Looking for something?
The question I have here is, do I want to take the time to heal up the Outrider in the appropriate location? Actually, speaking of, we should be doing that here.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Because the fact of the matter is, it's not taking us that long to get into position. Yeah, I think I can leave this. I also probably should be at a point now where I can split the army up, so I've got one group that's sort of moving over here and another, you know, another that's working on this objective, but I'll be a big baby about it for now. A scintilla of hope. Your people hoped that they would return to the surface and find untended wilderness, not a world of monsters and vile ZEPHON machines. Reports regularly come in of refugees who wandered too close to the Warden's territory and were slaughtered for their trespass. What is ZEPHON doing in there? Ironically, it is the monsters who know something about the machines. Your comms team is surprised one day to hear the voice of an Akron leader, the anchorite, broadcasting on old AM radio frequency. He sounds like a preacher whose voice would have once haunted the airwaves of the empty countryside. In his sermons, he proclaims that his people want peace, to seek a new future without the voice, he says. To know it was the voice who hunted humans, who hunted ZEPHON, not my people. His preaching sometimes descends to rambling. He mumbles about mysterious factories belching fire and smoke into the night. He mourns his people slain by the wardens who guard them. To want peace, simple peace, peace must light up the land like the sun rising over a glimmering ocean, the anchorite intones. You listen to his sermon, keenly aware that if peace is a distant sunrise, there is still a long night ahead of you. I'll still strive for peace, use your influence to de-escalate tensions. Hours of wheeling and dealing, bargaining, giving and taking, it's exhausting, but if the anchorite wants peace, this is the path to peace. You haven't ended the war, but you've at least slowed the race towards another Armageddon. Yet resentment simmers over every table. No one trusts each other. Even the closest allies have contingency plans in case their friends turn traitor. At the heart of the tension, ZEPHON. The artificial annoyance has barely played a role in negotiations. It just toils away in its territory, paying lip service to the anchorite's pleas. The Heirloom Assassin. We found ourselves in need of more subtle tools for waging war. In this new world, it wasn't enough to just switch from bullets to knives. You needed assassins who could bend light itself around them too. I could only wonder, did these women think of themselves as still human? Or are they just an assembly of blades wearing human skin? Anishim Enforcers, a soldier's broken body was just the foundation for a better weapon. Paralyzed? They shunted your spine. Missing limbs? They'd give you something better. Pretty soon they were standardizing the replacement parts and just outfitting the soldiers with them, whether they needed them or not. Okay. I feel okay making more militants.
This isn't the world I knew.
Actually, this one I'm gonna poke out to try and...
Looking for something? We're losing daylight.
Nuts.
Better than just sitting here. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
We can't stay here.
I'm not dying today, okay?
Keep us from fire.
This is the unit that's supposed to be like going to this area I'm moving to, but I figure it's nice to just have an engineer to be able to clear out all this bleed and territory that I'm gonna basically want to make my own. So, okay, I don't see a lot of value in moving.
Yeah, got it. On it.
I want to be a little careful with this, but.
Fine. Whatever keeps it alive.
Engineers. Some had formal training, most didn't. Scientists, construction workers, technicians. The thing that distinguished the people we called engineers from everyone else was that they had the skills to get the job done, whatever the job. The ones who hadn't, well, they weren't around anymore. So I definitely want to start building cities fast. So I suppose the question would be, well, there's two things that I want to do. So one is collective conduit, and then I want to do urban sprawl, and honestly, construction yard as well. To worry at the path you must walk to such dark lands. Your low standing had a major impact on this decision. Your standing with Anchorite and their friends has decreased. Everyone, literally every damn human, is a critic. To take care of the path you tread, the Acrid people were ruined by conceit. Alright, let's see if I can...
ZEPHON. Oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
Looking for something?
Still wait it out.
Ready for whatever's out there.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so we knew that was going to happen.
This isn't the world I knew.
We can't stay here. Shifting gears. Get some lead in them.
I really do need to get people into cover
I'm
and
not
fast.
dying today. Much better than just sitting here. Enemy! Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Time is short.
On it. We'll make it through. We have to. Get him!
Yeah, so I think this guy's gonna have a hard time next turn. That actually might be enough to kill them, so I think I'll do There Is Hope, just as a precaution. And the crypts Arakai? The most unsettling thing you could learn about the crypt Arakai? The cube on its back had no power source. Where did all that energy come from? Was it out of the air? From space? Maybe it was reaching into another dimension, pulling chaos from that world to kill in ours. Alright, let's see what consequences look like. So this is terrible to have those things in the woods.
We can't take much more of this. This isn't the world I knew.
They lived. That's what matters.
Within reach.
Okay. I'm not dying today.
Keep us from fire.
We may lose these, but I believe they come back to life.
Drive.
Time is short.
We'll make it through. We have to.
Did occur to me that I actually have a couple extra units I can bring to bear.
We can't stay here.
And at this point, I might as well just wait it out. Okay.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Kill him before they kill us! This isn't the world I knew.
Engaging with hostility. Perfection within reach.
Wasn't 100% how I was planning on that going, but
For whatever's out there. No turning back.
there's a meaningful difference in terms of the damage between these two, but I sort of feel like hitting these melee guys is the right call here.
It's better than just sitting here.
Okay, I definitely need to do the habitation block, so I'll follow up with a holo theater and then we'll do the engineers, but that's a long time to wait for all those. It's a little different from what I thought they were going to do.
We can't take much more of this!
Outrider is ready for recon.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Okay, so I guess the question is, both of these... Ouch.
Keep us from fire. Taking the field.
Looking for something? Shifting gears. Ready for whatever's out there.
This isn't the world I knew. On it!
We can't stay here. Let's make some new roads.
I'm not
Okay,
dying today.
One for the road, two for the grave.
I'm going to start with the ones who have only one practical target.
Enemy! Shooting!
And then from there,
Them. It wasn't gonna be us.
Perfection within reach. What do you need, sunshine?
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
alright, we are on our way to something better.
Looking for something?
Let's move... Oh, good lord.
This isn't the world I knew. Yeah, alright.
I've got a problem with authority.
And I should have actually
Gears.
loaded everyone up into the transport. Alright, and I figure at this point we should probably be moving to the objective. I want to be a little mindful in terms of my expenditure on minerals, but I think I can handle at least one more of these.
Point me to the front lines.
Thicker than water, a messenger rides in one day from out in the wastes with a letter you'd never thought you would read. It's from your brother, Arsham. Visions of his body evaporating in a nuclear cloud are cast from your mind as you read read the message he penned you. Joy turns to ash as you grasp the reality of his words. He and his people have found refuge in the wastes, but an army of reavers, like none you've ever heard of, threaten them. His followers desperately need supplies. Starvation spreads through the camp like wildfire. A disease, one that infects the eyes and makes the skin boil, is beginning to take root. Your kin calls for aid. Will you answer? Gather the necessary supplies. You won't let the Reavers kill your brother. You've been ready for a day like this. Your people are experts at scavenging in the wastes. If you hurry, you'll have the supplies your brother needs in no time. Execute order package resources within 5 turns. That is not that expensive, so let's do that now. The supplies have been gathered, and now you can rush them to Arshem. Your heart pounds at the thought of seeing your brother again. Spawns a resource transport. Visit the tile with the resource transport within 10 turns, and keep the resource transport alive. So the big question is where are we taking this thing? Okay. I don't want to dawdle.
We crave upon us.
Ouch. I was not really planning on
Ready for whatever's out
charging in like this, but
there. Drive. Get some lead in 'em.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
That won't be the last of them. Let's make some new roads. Hang on, I'm prepping the long-range scan.
yikes!
This isn't the world I knew. It's better than just sitting here. I'm not dying today.
What do you need, sunshine? Just clear me a path.
We can't stay here.
Open fire!
I didn't realize they they weren't unleashed.
Kill 'em before they kill us! Enemy!
We'll make it through this.
I don't think I want to annoy the Abkluth as well.
No turning back. Ready for whatever's out there.
Against my better judgment. Yeah, we'll if I ion discharge, yeah, you know what? I thought that was supposed to give me science or research and resources.
I'm not dying today.
What do you want?
We can't stay here. Shifting gears. Looking for something? Let's make some new roads. Ready for whatever's out there. Hang on, I'm prepping a long-range scanner.
Okay.
Drive.
I can make this work.
This isn't the world I knew. Yeah, got it.
One for the road, two for the grave.
Staying focused.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready to fight.
A sound decision.
I mean,
Wait.
it's not fatal if I annoy this thing, but I do want to peel off some units to be able to complete the other mission. And I'm still okay cranking out militants. Oof. Yeah, I really wasted resources trying to save that thing. Okay, Collective Conduit. One of those damned watchmakers appeared out of nowhere during a power shortage to give us plans for this toy. It was like a puzzle box with glowing lights, somehow sensitive to the user's mood. If you were relaxed, no, happy, and playing with it, the damn thing would generate power. The first time I took one home, I swear I caught a glimpse of someone or something watching me out of the corner of my eye. So basically, I get extra... If I have like a holo theater and I build a habitation block, I get extra energy for those. Okay, and we will do urban sprawl. So I'm going to pack him into the transport. I made a big old mess for myself. Especially because they're all in reasonably secure areas. Okay.
I'm not dying today. On it. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, all right. This isn't the world I knew.
We'll make it through this. I'll be there.
Hostiles!
Looking for something? One for the road, two for the grave. That won't be the last of them.
So I was hoping the morale would be sinking a bit.
Contact!
So now that when you see broken here, right? So that's minus 33% to attacks, and then they receive 33% in terms of damage. So being able to get momentum on your side can be
Engaging with hostility.
quite helpful. So like one of the reasons, I suppose the easiest way for me to articulate it here is that
Shifting gears.
I'm making a pretty conscious choice to commit hard in terms of my troops,
Whatever's out there.
but I'm doing so sort of with the knowledge that if I hit them hard enough, I'm able to, I'm sort of able to turn that into, no! My morale. All right.
Isn't the world I knew.
Looking for something?
You ever seen a body full of holes?
Sadly, I can't
You first.
beat the crap out of this thing.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Get some lead in 'em. Drive.
I really don't want to fight the bleed on this, so we'll have to go the long way around.
We can't stay here.
Okay. On it. Bush fighters on the field. Kill them before they kill us.
One for the road, two for the grave.
Microchip fabricators. ZEPHON's microchip manufacturing process relied on a decentralized network. There was a brief period where we thought capturing enough of these fabricators would draw its attention. But why would it care? If one fabricator went offline, it could manufacture a new one a safe distance away, its production queue barely interrupted. So this isn't, I mean, so what I think it's fair to say there's no situation where I want to just ignore a resource, but this isn't necessarily the one that I would like move heaven and earth to get because I don't need the chips. On the other hand, being able to convert chips into influence in the trading screen isn't a terrible idea.
Guess who? Oh, no, no.
I figure I haven't actually done anything to change the status, but it doesn't hurt to ask. All right, some of this is going to be a bit of a pain to work with. Let's deal
Weapons free.
with these guys first.
Okay. Enemy. Let's clear the air. We'll tread lightly.
Ooh,
No
I
such thing as
might
safe
want to be a
anymore.
little more
Better than just
careful
sitting
with where I'm
here.
moving that guy. Uh,
This isn't the world I knew.
ugly.
We can't take much more of this.
It's a reasonably valuable unit to be
What do you need, sunshine?
thrown around pretty carelessly like that.
Yeah, all right. Shooting! I'm not dying today. Hostiles!
Staying focused.
Oh, these guys are screwed. Yeah, I don't think there's any saving them. One thing I could try and do is if I push these up really aggressively.
Out there. No turning back. We can't stay here. One for the road, two for the grave.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
And this thing is currently leashed, so I'm gonna be polite. Okay, let's change it up.
Shifting gears.
You just love giving orders, don't you?
This isn't the world I knew. I'm not dying today.
Drive.
We'll make it through. We have to. Fine. Whatever keeps us alive.
Ready for whatever's out there. Looking for something? We're losing daylight.
All right, let's see.
We can't take much more of this.
Yeah, it sucks. I might have even sacrificed that transport, depending on how I can move. I didn't like how quickly we expanded. Smaller cities were easier to defend, and even easier to evacuate when the chips were down, but the architects told me that growth was inevitable. Density breeds efficiency, they said. We can't waste any resources at a time like this. Alright. So in one sense I want to keep moving forward, and in another sense I want to clean up. Okay, I'm going to do Militant Legion because so many of my units are militia. So let's start with that.
Drive. Get some lead in 'em.
I'm not dying today. Okay. Weapons free. Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Now the thing is, I still want to settle scores
This
with
isn't the world I knew.
the enemy here, so
Shooting!
Ready for whatever's out there. One for the road, two for the grave.
ah, nice.
Kill us!
Staying focused.
It was us or them. It wasn't gonna be us.
So
Field. On my mark.
the one nice thing out of this is that if they do want to attack, their morale's pretty hurt. So Um, I'm feeling a little nervous about this move, but
The world I knew.
Looking for something?
You ever seen a body full of holes?
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Ready for whatever's out there.
I've got a problem with authority.
Let's make some new roads.
this may not be the wisest choice here, but the thing is, if I go and try and finish this, if I try and finish this quest now,
Gravity does half the work, you know? Back to the grindstone.
I'm potentially setting myself up for
Got it.
We can't stay here.
for a fight that I can't take on. Okay, let's see what the next turn brings. God, I keep forgetting how many guys there are here.
We can't take much more of this.
That's two sets of soldiers that I just lost.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Ready for whatever's out
I want to be a bit careful about this, but I still think we can see this through.
Looking for something?
You arrive and quickly dispatch the Akron forces before heading inside. The data vault is a matte monolith in the center of Azad's shattered command deck. Landon grins like a child as he studies the device. He initiates the transfer, and web-thin cracks erupt along the vault surface, bleeding harsh light into the dim room. He hands you a data slab afterwards, but leaves you while you bury the dead Akron. You've got the data, but at what cost? Once you survive, you'll atone. For now, you head home. The voice lines of this are pretty good. I've only ever heard the human ones. Apparently, they're different if you play some of the voice factions.
What do we bring it down?
But you're right, they are good. All right, let's. I'm
I know where I'm going.
gonna use these guys to do a little exploration, actually.
The world I knew.
Ready for whatever's out there.
Okay. Let's.
You ever seen a body full of holes? I've been waiting for this.
Looking for something? Let's make some new roads.
Actually, this is a nice opportunity because if I
Hang on.
recon.
Long-range scanner.
Okay, so we've got a free
For
path.
the road, two for the grave.
By the way, these things are not overwhelmingly difficult to fight.
Such thing as safe anymore.
I've just had other priorities.
I'm not dying today. It was us or them, and it wasn't gonna be us.
Okay, at this point, I think we need to reinforce our people up here.
We'll make it through this.
Um,
What do you need, sunshine? Take 'em down!
We can't stay here.
I'm sorry it came to this.
Drive.
Yee.
Get some lead in them.
This isn't the world I knew.
Looking for something? Let's make some new roads.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Perfection within reach. We wither and wait.
So I'm trying to set this up so that we can withdraw quickly if I need to. I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna
Whatever keeps us alive.
stay and heal for now.
You first.
Ready for whatever's out there.
And I guess the question is, do I want to risk Or you know what? I can't.
Drive. Hang on, I'm prepping along the computer.
Excuse me. There's the dream eater.
We're losing daylight.
I really want to murder the crap out of everything up here, but I also know that I'm contending with a stronger
Looking for something?
force. There's strength in numbers, and survival of one depends on the survival of many. I couldn't argue with the old veteran telling me to centralize our forces. Isolationism killed his people off one by one out in the wastes. He saw what I couldn't, that the world was coming together again for a war unlike anything we ever knew. Okay. So as much as I like to go deeper into the research tree, there's a couple of things that I need to improve. So first of all, research laboratory. We need to do better with science. Okay. Sorry to be cheesy, but YOLO! Thicker than water. A scout returns from the convoy dispatched to bring supplies, bearing ill news. Their path has been blocked by the reavers Arsham was warring with. They hold a pass needed to finish the journey. The scout seems disturbed. You tell them to speak up. They're not like your brother described, they explain. They had a perfect opportunity to kill us, take what we had, but they just demanded a toll. That is unusual. You ask what toll they demanded, and are surprised to learn that they merely demand food and medicine. You close your eyes. A fight in the pass would mean a bloodbath for your people, hundreds dead, orphan children left behind, like you and Arsham. You shake off the vision. There are other ways through this. So, we can pay the toll. If the Reavers accept peace for now, the price is worth it, or none will stand between you. Honestly, 10 of each of these is not that high to pay. You decide to deliver the toll yourself. When you arrive at the convoy, you are surprised to see how calm everyone is. Your people and the Reavers are even gathered around campfires, swapping tales and rolling dice. This should fill your heart with joy. Isn't peace all you wanted in this land? But doubts cloud your mind. No Reaver behaves this way. Arsham spoke of a brutal war. What is happening in this distant land? You hand over the toll, and the Reavers prepare to depart. Some even seem sad to go. You spy an intense conversation with one of your advisors. Your advisor's face has gone white as a sheet. "Sir," his voice says with a tremble, "it's Arsham." Your heart drops, but he quickly shakes his head. "It's not what you think. Your brother, he's a monster." So, find answers that's impossible. You would take a Reaver's word over your brother's, navigate to your brother's camp to learn the truth, or Arsham lied to you, you cannot risk any further contact. No, find answers. Arsham's camp barely resembles what was described in his letter. Disease is rampant, yes, but you see no innocents, no starving children. All his people are lean, yes, but covered in scars, armed with Reaver weaponry, and hungrily eyeing not the goods that you bring, but the people carrying them. Some part of you holds on to hope. You've killed, haven't you? Your hands are not clean. Surely this is just what it took for them to survive out here. You arrive at the pavilion, and your heart lifts. There he is, Arsham, the brother who once kept you alive on the streets of Algiers. The brother who fought to protect you and other orphans, who stood up to corrupt police and stole food that kept your bellies full. Arsham turns and you both hug. As he clutches you tight, he tells you of his plan to save his people, to make a paradise in this fallen waste. He wants to kill the Reavers, all of them, leave none alive who could threaten his camp. Prove yourself, he says with a smile. Just help me destroy their last city. So we can join him. When all this is done, it will be you who kept him safe. A familial debt, decades owed, will be repaid. Capture one camp, one single Reaver camp, and you can be truly reunited. Or reject the slaughter, your blood runs cold at his words. He speaks of slaughtering innocents, that any living Reaver could one day kill you both. You won't be part of this. You need to stop him now. I don't know if this transport's gonna make it.
I'm not dying today. Ain't no such
Yeah,
thing
we
as safe
definitely
anymore.
need
Okay,
more troops here than we have.
Get some lead in 'em.
contact! This isn't the world I knew. Get him!
I've got a problem with authority. I've been waiting for this.
Ready for whatever's out there.
What do you want?
Well, nobody's perfect, Isaacson.
You just love giving orders, don't you?
Oh, I should have done Frenzy at the start.
Cruelty is the point.
Looking for something?
All right, what are we gonna do about this higher level here?
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
What do you need, sunshine? I'll be there.
Good lord, where'd you all come from?
Engaging with us.
This is a really strong unit to be losing.
I'm not dying today. We'll make it through. We have to. Kill them before they kill us!
We can't stay here. Ready for whatever's out there. Let's make some new roads.
This isn't the world I knew.
Okay.
Time is short.
Drive. Looking for something? We're losing daylight.
Enemy!
Shifting gears.
I want
You
that.
ever seen a body full of holes? I know where I'm going.
Phase generator. The first time I crossed paths with a watchmaker, she was running maintenance on one of these generators. We argued about who should be allowed to control them. You're here to win a war. I'm here to stop the next one, she said. We cut a deal. If we funneled some energy to the watchmakers, they'd activate the shielding to protect our people. To be fair, your D&D character's response to arriving at an island and seeing that the entire mining colony that was set up there had been decimated by little blonde halflings with a gun was to go on a magical rampage filled with righteous, chaotic fury, so I have no room to judge. I mean, you say little blonde halflings, and that's making me think about the inhabitants of the windmill on the golf course. That's weird. It doesn't feel like they're going particularly hard on the resource transport. I want to be careful how I handle this, but we may actually be able to run away.
Ready for whatever's out there.
Techs, researchers, scientists, they all hold up here. When I was younger, stupider, I thought this was where the soft hid from the harshness of war. That's what they wanted us to think, of course. Some of the most monstrous minds found their place here. Why pull the trigger when you could make the gun? Okay, I am quite tempted to go to for Valkyria next. But I also want to construct... let's do Valkyria. Das Tutu.
See, my people are wanting this.
Tell me of this new world. A wise man in his hermitage. He is not traveling.
Come again for chai.
Namaskar. Let's see if we can get... He's busy at the moment and politely excuses himself. Okay.
We can't
Yoink.
Looking for something?
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Ready for whatever's out there. No turning back. That won't be the last of them.
I really don't want to tempt fate,
What do you want?
but they're not... Like, they're not 10 feet tall. Like, we can theoretically win this fight.
Give me your shit.
I'm not dying today. That's better than just sitting here.
So first thing I want to do is get my people into as much cover as possible. One of the other things I can do is break their morale.
One for the road, two for the grave.
This isn't the world I knew. Yeah, all right.
So normally I would put them into the cover here, but you get twice as much damage when you're at close range.
Ready for whatever's out there.
Alright, now
Looking for something?
I have some choices to make here.
This.
I think risking my commander is a really
No
stupid
such
thing to be
as safe
doing.
anymore. We'll make it through. We have to.
I'll be there.
I'm not dying today.
Okay, we'll skip.
Fine. Whatever keeps us alive.
We're losing daylight.
You ever seen a body full of holes?
I don't think I'm that cruel in D&D. I think the worst you could accuse me of is being I am called an instigator, which in fairness is something I'm also called. Wait, he said he was gone. Yeah. In fairness, I think I get called that in real life too. Okay. We'll see if I made the wrong call here, but I feel like we've got enough to be able to carve these up. If anything, I actually created a problem for myself by going into this risky position against the Dream Eater. That is more likely to kill me than anything else I'm doing here.
Looking for something?
Give me an edge. Interesting. Honestly, I'm more interested in what's going on here.
I'm not dying today. Yeah, got it.
We can't stay here.
I don't know if the guy inside gets XP.
That won't be the last of them.
Looks like he does.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Oh, beautiful. So I'm assuming Arsham is not going to be a pushover, but...
Shifting gears.
Get
some lead in them.
No, leave me alone. I was only joking.
Got a problem with authority. I've been waiting for this.
Looking for something?
This is very bold. Yep. All right, let's see how it goes.
Hang on, I'm prepping a long-range scanner.
The question is how much I want to commit.
Isn't the world I knew.
I think the choice has already been made for me, honestly.
Stay here.
Oh, I thought they were gonna... Okay, that sucks.
Looking for something?
On it.
I think at this point,
Drive!
I'm kind of going all in.
All right. Enemy! Get him! This isn't the world I knew.
We can't stay here. Ready for whatever's out there.
So the temptation is to bring this thing up and bring them into the fight.
Looking for something?
I think this is the
Shifting gears.
better call, though.
One for the road, two for the grave. That won't be the last of them.
Ain't no such thing.
I guess I can unload the troop, though. Oh, god damn it.
What do you want?
I thought they were already unleashed.
I've got a problem with
Alright. I'm kind of using these units as scouts.
I know where I'm going.
I mean, it could have been worse. We lost the returns on some of the like kills that we'd be doing, but the I guess the other side of this though is that we are making some space, so I'll be able to direct my army towards further conquests.
Point me to the front lines.
Valkyria, humanity's first real weapon that could stand toe-to-toe with the monsters of the New World, came with a price. We needed exosuits, but the scientists could only make them work if you hardwired a pilot into them. I thought no one would go for it, but some women in our group stood up. They were born ready to send their enemies to Valhalla. Okay, construction yard.
You first.
Let's clear the air. Keeping one eye skyward.
I can work with this. This thing is more for anti-air, but
Knock 'em down.
Looking for something?
now let's think about...
Shifting gears.
Ooh.
No turning back. Ready for whatever's out there.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. This isn't the world I knew.
We can't stay here.
I'm not dying today. Weapons free. Yeah, got it. Kill them before they kill us. It's better than just sitting here. Yeah, all right. Hostiles! Contact! Okay,
Looking for something?
on it. Get him! Enemy!
Get some lead in 'em.
So these things give you a bunch of resources when you take them out.
This
And
isn't
you know
the
what?
world I knew. Open fire!
I'll bring everybody into the party.
We can't stay here. No turning back.
There is a temptation to let the commander, like, you know, just bring him out for air
No
and
such thing as safe anymore.
let them contribute. Where's the... Oh,
Ready
right.
for whatever's out there.
So I want to make sure I'm not annoying the Dream Eater,
Let's make some new roads.
but we also need to bully my brother.
One for the road, two for the grave.
We'll make it through. We have to. Shooting!
You ever seen a body full of holes? I've been waiting for this.
Okay, I'm
This
feeling
isn't the world I knew.
reasonably good about where we are.
Okay.
Engineers are on their way. Valkyria, we don't have the energy and we don't have the influence. Hopefully the energy gets itself sorted out in a little bit. I should also be careful of the Dream Eater here because, well, I mean, there's a number of reasons for me to be careful about the Dream Eater. But one of the principal reasons would be it can mind control.
Outrider is ready for recon.
Okay. I'm probably going to wrap up soon, but let's, first of
Make
all...
some new roads.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
You ever seen a body full of holes?
we're close.
Cruelty is the point.
So let's finish the quest.
Something? That won't be the last of them.
Arsham is dead. There was nothing noble about his killing. You watched him die at your soldiers' hands, and it was no different than any of the others you've killed to survive. Where had your paths turned? When did the price of survival grow so cheap for him and so high for you? Your soldiers hesitate as you begin to dig a grave in the ruins of Arsham's camp. You will make sure your brother has a final resting place. You are only surprised when a group of reavers pick up crude shovels and join you in your work. They treat the task with reverence you would not have given to one who tried to slaughter your people. One reaver catches your eye. The monster is dead, he says plainly, but your brother is gone too. We know what price you paid today. This is the least we can do. He hands you a box of Arsham's possessions. You paw through them and find a tattered satchel, the one he clutched in his hands on the last day you saw each other. Now the tears come. You kneel before Arsham's grave and clutch the satchel to your chest. Saving these reavers seemed such an obvious choice. You just wish you could have saved Arsham, too. Give me the loot!
I'm not dying today.
Staying focused.
Ready for whatever's out
Okay.
there.
This isn't the world I knew.
We can't stay here.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Yeah, alright.
This is the stronger unit to bring in.
On it. Get him! Hostiles!
I don't recall if this thing heals and bleed. I imagine it does.
Shooting!
And there is a way that I can find out. Well, not anymore.
It was us or them. And it wasn't gonna be us.
All right, let's take a quick look at the... Yeah, Bleed Walker suffers no damage, movement, or penalty in bleed, and 2 hit points each turn in bleed. Okay, so what we want to do now is consolidate the force. So, first of all, we're not out of the woods.
No such thing
There
as safe
are
anymore.
still things
We'll
that
make it through. We
mean
have
us
to.
harm.
It's better than just sitting here.
What I am going to do here, though, is I don't have a problem taking this Outrider and
Isn't
letting
the
it
world I knew.
sort of sit and heal.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Looking for something?
This is a bit risky, but this is also
Let's make
like a
some
reasonably
moves.
healthy outrider. So I feel like I should be able to get away. Yeah. This thing's... So, like, we don't know what the rest of this area looks like, but this is a reasonably safe place for me to be doing the shenanigans. I don't think I want to fight the Abcan with this thing yet.
What are we bringing down?
Sort of on its own.
You just love giving orders, don't you?
कैसे हो? Oh, no, no.
Okay, I can do another Outrider if I really want. Yeah, why not? I'm slightly curious. I think it's the energy? Yeah. Okay, so I think that was... I don't know if I did a very good job of explaining sort of what I was doing in my overall plans. I'd say, you know, obviously the Fallen Soldier's healing ability is a big crutch for me, and I think that's something I'm going to need to spend some time learning to overcome. But as far as opening is concerned, like, I'm not super mad with how this turned out. Things are a bit lopsided. So, I mean, one thing that I do run into, and I genuinely thought this was going to be a problem for me in this round, I do have a bad habit of overcommitting in terms of like resources.
We'll make it through this.
So what I mean by that is I'll be doing really well with minerals, but, you know, my energy will be in the negatives, and there's like no realistic way that I can dig myself out of that hole. And this time here, everything's sort of in the positives. It wasn't always in the positives, but like we've more or less branched out in such a way that we're in the black for all of our resources. I would have preferred to have more research, but we will be fixing that reasonably soon. And I feel like we're doing okay in terms of like getting another colony. What I like to try and do when planning things out, I don't have a super efficient system for working these things out, but the broad strokes would be, I take my center. I think the largest you can expand would be 3 hexes. So, you know, something like 1, 2, 3. And then I take, 1, 2, 3, something like that. And I say, okay, let's try and, we'll try and put a city somewhere, in this area. And this one's kind of nice because there's a bit of volcano. There's a lot of desert. So this is definitely going to be my energy generation area. So I don't know, maybe something like around here might be a good idea, or we try and go a bit deeper and we head out into this region. And there's a couple of like good food areas, but we're not doing it for the food, we're doing it for the energy. Oh, the bleed. So this, we can go to the codex. So this is not good for me, but the voice's tendrils bled out from one reality and into our own, prying open a door to madness. These should not have plagued our earth. Their sickly, slimy extremities reached out in search of flesh or metal to ensnare. I can't even escape the sight of them in my sleep. Some nights, often on a full moon, I wake sweating, still feeling the phantom pull of them dragging me to the earth. I assume this was all in my head, but I've heard the whispers in the mess hall. Others dream of being crushed too. So takes away a building slot. 0 building slots without bleed cultivation. So if you go down sort of the Eldritch path, the known as the Voice, I believe that allows you to build on it. Block sight from non-adjacent tiles, 100 movement cost, so basically you move into it and it stops you, and then deals damage each turn. So I actually haven't seen Look Outside, but what I remember this is there's the game developers behind this, Proxy Studios, made a Warhammer 40k game called Warhammer 40,000 Gladius Relics of War, and there is a tile called, I think it's Razorweed. It's a very similar idea where it'll stop your land units in place and deal damage to them. So there's a couple of things that have sort of carried over. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I've heard this interesting thing. I actually really like this way of thinking about franchises. Someone has said in the past that like working in a franchise is like renting revenue. So like if you use the Warhammer 40k license, you know, you're paying Games Workshop for, you know, all of the time and effort that they've put into the creation of, you know, shouty men with large shoulder pads. And you know, you spend money for that because there are absolutely people who want shouty men with large shoulder pads. But of course, it's not that they'll just buy anything, right? Like, you also have to make a game. But it is, I think, in one way, it's a way that people have gotten attention at a time when, you know, there's lots and lots of very good games being released. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I actually know more people who are aware of, or sorry, I've met a number of people who are aware of Warhammer. They don't necessarily like Warhammer. I would not count myself in that group. Like, I think it's fine. Like, you know, I like Dawn of War. I've played the Total War Warhammer. I liked Gladius. But what I've thought was so interesting about this game, because I was already familiar with Proxy from Gladius, I thought it was really interesting that they made their own world, and that, you know, I'm sufficiently interested by what's going on in it. I mean, like, come on, you've got bits of the Fulcrum which have got teeth and eyes in it. How can you not be interested in this setting? Yeah, like, it's fine. It's one of these things where I don't think it's bad to say this about a Warhammer game. Like, you know what you are getting, and, you know, what you're getting is actually pretty good. But I also sort of think that I'm really trying not to draw I really don't want to draw some sort of like false trade-offs or anything like that, but I just think that, like, when you're working in a franchise like that, and you're you know, you want to make sure that you're hitting certain notes and you're getting something for the effort that you are putting in, and more importantly, the money that you're sort of putting in for getting access to that. And I don't want to suggest that things operating in known franchises or settings can't do interesting things in terms of stories. I was very pleasantly surprised by Wolfenstein: The New Order and how much I liked how they leaned into the alternate history side of that. But on the other hand, I do feel that there may be a bit of a correlation between the things that drive you to work in an established property and maybe not taking the biggest creative risks that you would. So, you know, I really like Gladius. I'm genuinely very impressed by ZEPHON. And of course, the wonderful thing is that my hard drive is big enough that I can, in fact, have both on my, on my computer. So I don't necessarily have to choose one or the other. But yeah, excuse me. I think that's all I meant by knowing people who are like aware of Warhammer, but not quite their thing. But I don't want to, I think maybe what I was trying to say is that I'm familiar with the feeling, even if I don't necessarily agree myself. Anyways, that Fulcrum piece reminds you of this area in Final Fantasy XIV where shards of the moon fell and horde corrupted creatures came forth from the energy they gave off, and the void sent creatures. Yeah, I mean, so these, I believe, the Fulcrum hit Earth and gave us a lot more volcanoes. Oh, actually, there is a neat feature of this. I'll see if I can catch another one. Nah, I don't think it's going to work out. But every once in a while, when you get to these labels, it'll change it over, and it will actually mention people on your Steam friends list. So, like, I have seen it say something that's like, Eyes of Sin wouldn't go here. So, I thought that was kind of funny. Anyways, I had a good time with this. I was going to... sorry, I'll try and do a bit of a recap of what I was saying. So, overall, I'm happy with the space we were able to make. I think I need to do some cleanup in terms of the abcans. One, that should be good for getting some resources, and then... I don't know, it also just gives me something to do with this unreasonably sized army. There is the drawback here that I am essentially relying on, lots and lots of militants, which at the moment is serving me well. The only thing I'd say is I don't have as much of the map as I normally would like. I've actually noticed that we haven't really seen a lot of people. We've seen, one other player character, and then the anchorite still sitting around. So the ways I'm going to overcome some of those challenges. The other thing I was going to say, I wish I paid a little more attention to the cities as they develop. Because it is kind of fun to see these things fill up. Excuse me. But yeah, so one of the ways... sorry, I'm going to overcome the current situation. One drawback is I wish I had a better science location. I think one thing I'll do here is I will nab these minerals real quick. And as a second best, because like none of these areas are going to give me any bonus science. So I'll just accept that, life is full of disappointment, and I'll build up these research laboratories, on the outskirts. I am also going to need to think about another holo theater. Just because of the, we'll drop some loyalty when we build another colony. So I certainly have my work cut out for me as far as construction goes. But I think getting our desert area up will be good. That will get me a reliable source of energy. Getting the science up will mean I start meaningfully going through the research tree. I do need to make some decisions in terms of how I'm going to get upgraded units. So, for instance, missile teams would be good, particularly for the end of the research big shoulder pads. Good to see you, Revive Snow. It would be good to get missile teams. I tend to find they're pretty good for the end game, although Rangers are shockingly good as well. I think a Crusader battle tank is one that I would want to consider because of the bonuses that I build for that also apply for the endgame unit that I want to build, the Atlas tank. But the real milestone I'm trying to work to... Oh, Hardening Hearts. Oh, wow. Interesting. What I'm really wanting to move towards is the antimatter plant and the transuranium stabilizer. And then eventually from there, I would like to get arrayed accelerators and safety disjunction. So essentially, the minerals and energy are fine for the sort of the base level. But really what I want to be working towards, I'd say especially for a map like this where I have my doubts that I'm going to be able to take care of everything before the big, the big finale. I want to be able to build Atlas tanks and Hades bombers, which are, where are you? Right here. So a Hades bomber costs 16 of the sort of refined resources and then costs 0.8 to maintain, and the Atlas tank takes 32 of each of these and 1.6 to maintain. So the way I kind of like to think about it is that all things being equal, what I want to try and do is build myself up to a point where I can, if it takes 12 turns to build an Atlas tank, right, take 32 of the refined resources, divide by 12, and then make sure I have enough for the upkeep as well. And essentially, like, make sure that I'm always maintaining that that balance. And then, of course, ideally, right, I'm able to spread that over even more. And I have multiple cities building Atlas tanks and Hades bombers and such. And that's essentially arming me, I guess, for one of two scenarios. Either one, I go nuts and take everybody over, or two, we get to the end game and then I just have a whole lot of very high value units to take on the big titans that come at the end. Hello, Knight97M and LlamaBoy93. I see you. I do need to apologize. I was actually doing a very long farewell. I'm actually done streaming for tonight, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the overall strategy I had in plan here. So it was a bit of a rough start, but we made space. I need to make sure that I am expanding in a somewhat intelligent way, but with a mind towards those big in-game resources. And then, of course, the hope here will be that I take the... I don't do VOD. Well, I do VODs, actually. I do it on YouTube. Yeah, no, I upload the stuff to YouTube, and then, like, obviously there's whatever there is in history. So sorry about that, though. But I do appreciate you all stopping by. For those of you maybe not familiar with Knight97, I very frequently see Knight and It Is D-Pain streaming together. And I feel like I've been the recipient of more raids rather than the deliverer. But you know what I can do? There's two things that I'll mention. One, here is a modern political compass for those of you who want to know, who you really are. Someone in this chat may have gotten the Pope. And then for those of you that are interested in this game, I think it's very good. If you like 4X games, this is a very unique one with an interesting approach to narrative. It is currently half off in the Steam sale, so it's $24.99 Canadian. There is an expanded version which basically gives you all of the DLC that adds things to the base game. So by that I mean like new factions and so on and so forth. That bundle is 31% off, so $63.01, again Canadian. And then there's a complete edition, which will include like an art book and some wallpapers and an absolutely gargantuan soundtrack. That is $86.20 if you like doing, if you like doing all the things. Anyway, I did want to take a quick minute and say thank you to Knight and the followers, or raiders. I do need to, one, I need to get some stuff done, and then number two, I do need to get a somewhat reasonable bedtime tonight. So, I do notice that Catico is streaming Resident Evil 3 tonight, so I will leave you in her capable hands. She's an Australian streamer, has found, it's weird, I like that she has found some success on YouTube, but it seems to have come from like the thirstiest YouTubers showing up. So like if you see the chat on Twitch and the chat on YouTube, they're almost like two completely different environments. But with that in mind, I do not, that is not intended to be a backhanded compliment. I am always very happy to see people I know achieving success. But it is a very different, it was very funny because I wanted to stop by YouTube originally when I, when I found out she was doing that, and I maybe behaved poorly. No, that's fine. I'm just the usual troll that I am. But anyways, I will leave you in her capable hands. I believe she's doing sort of challenge runs of Resident Evil 3. As far as myself, I will probably be taking Wednesday off for Canada Day, but I suspect after that Friday, I should be good to come back. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to stream yet, but I will announce as much on Twitter, or X, as nobody calls it. And yeah, we'll figure it out there. But I need to get some sleep. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.